the Interstellar Mecha cook. Hey! Look who's back for more adventures. We love having you here to continue this story that keeps us all awake. Important note, all of this is pure fiction, so don't try any techniques you hear here in real life. Your neighbor might call the cops. This amazing novel and all its rights belong to the original author. We're just the ones giving it voice and drama. Are you enjoying the show? Prove it by subscribing to our YouTube channel and leaving that like that motivates us so much. And if you want VIP access to exclusive content, our Patreon is waiting with things you won't find anywhere else. Chapter 201, Holding On. Lin Miaomiao and Liu Yifei discussed for a long time, and Shang Ruinan finally came out of the mecha. Hey, I thought you wanted to hide in there forever. Lin Miaomiao was surprised. Of course, she didn't really think that Shang Ruinan would hide in the mecha forever, but the speed at which he came out was too fast, which was simply not in line with common sense. Shang Ruinan's face was still a little pale, and his whole body was wet, but he said unyieldingly, "Are you kidding me? Why should I hide? You did something wrong and you still think you're right." Lin Miaomiao was angry. "How shameless are you?" Shang Ruinan snorted, "I didn't do anything wrong, I just played a little joke on you." "Why, you can't even joke." Lin Miaomiao widened her eyes. She had never seen such a thick-skinned person. He pushed her into the water and said it was a joke. Who is he trying to fool? You know very well whether it's a joke or not. Anyway, I won't give up pursuing this matter, Lin Miaomiao said coldly. That depends on what the captain decides. Shang Ruinan straightened her back and looked at Yi Hongwen. "Captain, what do you think?" Yi Hongwen frowned. "This is not something that can be covered up with a joke. I've said it before, the fleet will not tolerate people who hurt their teammates." "Really?" Shang Ruinan smiled strangely when she heard that. Her eyes drifted to Liu Yifei, as if talking to herself. "What about him? Don't forget that he also pushed me into the lake. If the fleet can't accommodate me, then how can it accommodate him?" Lin Miaomiao secretly said that it was not good. She actually overlooked that Liu Yifei had pushed Shang Ruinan into the lake to vent her anger. If Shang Ruinan was judged to have done it intentionally, then Liu Yifei would be in danger as well. "What's wrong with me? I was just rushing to save someone and accidentally bumped into you," Liu Yifei said innocently. "I already apologized. If you don't believe me, ask everyone." Luo Cheng nodded hurriedly. "Yes, I heard Yifei apologize to you. Mistakes are inevitable in a hurry, but Yifei was too reckless. Boss, I think you should make him write a 10,000-word self-criticism," Fan Lei testified, not forgetting to give Liu Yifei a little slap. When Zixi, though silent, was clearly on Liu Yifei's side. No one else sided with her, but Shang Ruinan didn't care. "Anyway, if I get fired for this, I'll spread the word that Liu Yifei pushed me into the lake." Shang Ruinan acted like she was going to give up, leaving everyone helpless. While they could prove that Liu Yifei was accidental, the fact that Shang Ruinan was pushed was a fact. If she persisted, not only would the reputation of the Shenyu fleet be affected, but Liu Yifei's future promotions would also be affected, and he might even lose his current position as team leader. Liu Yifei, quite simply, was a bachelor. If you want to say it, go ahead. I don't believe rumors can hold me back from making progress in my life. Shang Ruinan, do you think your threats will work? Yi Hongwen said coldly. Yifei was careless, and you were intentional. The nature of these two things is different, and the outcome won't be what you want. Are you going to abandon your longtime brother for a woman? Shang Ruinan looked at him in disbelief. PSSST, SSST, SSST, what nonsense. Boss is being impartial, Liu Yifei quickly clarified. Besides, as long as I can follow you, even if I have to be an ordinary team member for the rest of my life, I'll accept it. Yi Hongwen nodded. Shang Ruinan intentionally harmed a fellow soldier this time, so he's expelled from the army. Liu Yifei made a reckless mistake, so he'll be given a warning and punished with a 10,000-word self-criticism. No one has any objections, right? Boss is wise. I have no objection. Liu Yifei was the first to speak up. Luo Cheng, Fan Lei, and Wen Zixi exchanged a glance, hesitant. To be honest, it's not a good idea to keep an unstable factor like Shang Ruinan in the fleet, but if we consider her relationship with Liu Yifei, it's not impossible to keep her. Boss, why don't we just let it go this time? Luo Cheng said. We can't let her get Yifei into trouble. A hint of pride crossed Shang Ruinan's face. She knew that even if Liu Yifei didn't care, there would always be someone who would. Captain, you'd better think it over carefully. Don't just focus on venting your anger on Lin Miaomiao and sacrifice your good brother, Sheng Ruinan deliberately provoked. The others will be heartbroken too. Stop sowing discord, Luo Cheng said impatiently. Miaomiao is Wenhao's sister. She hasn't done anything wrong. No matter what the outcome today is, it has nothing to do with her. Liu Yifei and the other two nodded in agreement. Okay, since no one has any objections, then this is settled. Yi Hongwen made the decision with a cold face. Yifei, go and watch Sheng Ruin and go back to the dormitory to pack her things. After Yi Hongwen finished speaking, he turned around and was about to leave, but Lin Miaomiao suddenly said, "Wait a minute, I have an objection." "Speak," Yi Hongwen said without turning his head. "Sheng Ruinan was indeed joking with me just now. The captain can't kick her out." Lin Miaomiao seriously reversed the verdict. She and Liu Yifei were friends who could talk to each other, so how could she be willing to let someone she disliked implicate him? Yi Hongwen turned around abruptly. "Do you know what you are saying?" "I know," Lin Miaomiao said without any reluctance. "Miaomiao, what are you doing?" Liu Yifei yelled. "Keeping her here will cause another big hassle." "What's the hassle?" Lin Miaomiao said nonchalantly. "Keeping her here doesn't mean she can stay. Don't forget, it's a fact that she had ill intentions towards me today." Liu Yifei was startled, but then he realized that no matter what the outcome of today's incident was, the truth would never be concealed. Even if Sheng Ruinan stayed, she would be ostracized by everyone and leaving the fleet was inevitable. Yi Hongwen naturally understood what Liu Yifei was thinking. "Okay, let's just treat today's incident as a misunderstanding. Neither of us will be punished. Sheng Ruinan, you can leave." Sheng Ruinan breathed a sigh of relief. She had finally managed to stay. She remembered the grudge she had received today and would definitely find a way to retaliate. With a cold glance at everyone present, Sheng Ruinan left with her chin held high and proud. "Look at her smug look," Liu Yifei said, still a little unwilling. "Actually, we were wrong. Even if she can't stay here, she can still transfer to another fleet. Who knows what trouble will happen in the future?" Lin Miaomiao said with a dull face. "What are you afraid of? She won't have an easy time in the future. I want to see if she has what it takes to be transferred to another fleet." "She doesn't have the ability." "But her family does." Liu Yifei rolled his eyes at Lin Miaomiao. "The Sheng family has a certain status on Shaoyin Star, and your Lin family can't easily touch them. It's different," Lin Miaomiao said proudly. "I am the favored daughter of the Lin family, and she is not. The Sheng family will not defend another major family because of an unfavored daughter. Moreover, if she guessed correctly, her future sister-in-law seemed to have an extraordinary status. Even for her brother, Ren Jiao would not stand idly by. It seems that she should urge her brother to visit his sister-in-law sooner rather than later. Once his status is confirmed, his sister-in-law will be in a better position to help. Don't stand here and think about it." Yi Hongwen pushed her gently. "Go back to the dormitory and change your clothes. Even if the weather is too hot, it's not good to wear wet clothes for a long time." Lin Miaomiao suddenly realized that she had forgotten that her clothes were still wet. No wonder she always felt sticky and uncomfortable all over. Chapter 202 Emergency Assembly. Lin Miaomiao had just returned to the dormitory to change clothes and was just wondering whether to send a video call to her future sister-in-law to catch up and share what had just happened when a bell rang inside the base. An emergency call. Lin Miaomiao quickly stood up and rushed to the waiting area. This was the first time Lin Miaomiao had heard an emergency call since joining Shenyu. Although the veterans would go on missions, they would receive a direct text message from their superiors to assemble, without alerting the new recruits. Ordinary missions didn't require an emergency call. The resounding bell rang for a full 3 minutes, finally stopping when Lin Miaomiao reached the center of the lake. The street was crowded, but no one spoke or greeted anyone, all rushing to the waiting area. Once inside, Lin Miaomiao was about to find a place to sit when she saw Liu Kaoyer standing in the last row, waving at her. She approached and saw that most of her friends were already sitting there. "How did you guys get by so quickly?" Lin Miaomiao asked curiously. "It's not early anymore. Don't we usually come to the training ground at this time?" "I was going to ask you why you're so late," Liu Kaoyer replied. "Hurry up and sit down." Lin Miaomiao sat down in the empty seat reserved for her. Zhang Xingyan, who was sitting on the other side of her, said, "Miaomiao, why are you so late today? You look sweating profusely. Do you want some ice water?" Zhang Xingyan handed her a bottle of mineral water with ice chips with a smile. Lin Miaomiao was about to take it when a hand reached out from the front and snatched the ice water away. Lin Miaomiao was furious. How dare he snatch food from her mouth? It was unforgivable. She looked up and was about to get angry, but she found that the person who snatched the food was her future sister-in-law. Lin Miaomiao was embarrassed. Sister-in-law, are you thirsty too? No. Ren Jiaojiao handed the ice water to the person next to her. Here, drink it. Lin Miaomiao looked over eagerly, but the person was her own eldest brother. Lin Xianhao took the water and unceremoniously uncorked it, taking a swig. It's really refreshing to drink ice water in this heat. But, Miaomiao, I remember I restricted your ice water intake. I didn't drink it, didn't I? Lin Miaomiao pointed at her. Big brother was a terrifying person, even more terrifying than dad. You absolutely couldn't talk back to him. This was something she had only recently figured out. She hadn't felt it before when they were video chatting. Perhaps because Lin Miaomiao had such a good attitude about admitting her mistake, Lin Xianhao stopped staring at her. Instead, he kindly addressed Zhang Xingyan. It's you who keeps encouraging my Miaomiao to drink ice water. Are you really her good friend? Don't you know she's a little frail and doesn't suit cold things? I didn't know. Zhang Xingyan, nearly crying from the scolding, quickly promised, I definitely won't let her drink ice water anymore. Liu Kaoyer looked at Zhang Xingyan with pity. Poor kid, what an unexpected disaster. Fortunately, Yi Hongwen quickly arrived with a few team leaders. Everyone fell silent, which indirectly saved Zhang Xingyan's life. Yifei, stand guard at the door and see who's late, Yi Hongwen said. Lizzie, get the forms for them to sign in, one per row. Yes, Liu Yifei responded and stood by the door. Fan Lei silently pulled out a stack of forms and began distributing them, starting with the first row. Sanda Planet was attacked by a swarm of high-level alien beasts yesterday. The mist-breaking fleet is already there, but the beasts are so numerous and the attacks are relentless, they can't hold out for long. Yi Hongwen activated the projection function on his communicator, and a picture of the situation on Sanda Planet immediately appeared on the snow-white wall. On the screen, swarms of high-level alien beasts were attacking the mecha warriors from mid-air. These beasts possessed supernatural powers, the most common being fire and water spray, with occasional flashes of lightning. Wow, so cool, Yu Zixin couldn't help but sigh in admiration. If only we had superpowers too, don't dream. If they had superpowers, we wouldn't need mecha warriors anymore, Liu Kaoyer complained. Lin Miaomiao said thoughtfully, animals can mutate, maybe humans can too. In those apocalyptic stories, people with superpowers are the heroes who save the world. This world may have superpowers, but with mecha warriors, they will definitely be ostracized because they believe that those who are not of my kind must have different hearts. Lin Miaomiao, if you have something to say, you can come to the front, Yi Hongwen suddenly called her name. Captain, I have nothing to say, Lin Miaomiao replied with a dull face. It was just a few words, and everyone was talking about it, but they just called her name, bad guy. You have to stay away from him in the future. Lin Miaomiao had a lot of complaints in her heart, but she still didn't dare to protest in public. After all, Yi Hongwen was the captain, not someone a small soldier like her could offend at will. If you don't have anything to say, just listen carefully, Yi Hongwen said coldly, then continued to explain the mission. This time, we've received a support mission to cooperate with a mist-breaking fleet to eliminate a herd of alien beasts. After introducing the mission, Yi Hongwen began to call out names. This mission, all veteran team members except Sheng Ruinan must participate. New team members Zhu Chen, Xiao Jun, Li Nanshan, Cheng Xiao Yun and others will go aboard to train. The new team members called out were all 4th-level mecha operators. Lin Miaomiao listened intently for a long time, but didn't hear her name. Suspecting she had missed it, she whispered to Liu Kaoyer and Zhang Xingyan, who were sitting next to her, but the answer was still that her name was not on the list. Lin Miaomiao was unhappy. She was also a 4th-level mecha operator, but she was not on the mission list. Yi Hongwen must have done this on purpose. He simply looked down on her abilities. The mission list has been announced. The team members who are going on the mission will stay, and the team members who will stay at the base will train as usual, Yi Hongwen concluded. Lin Miaomiao stood up with a gloomy face. Captain, I have something to say. No need to say it, Yi Hongwen refused without hesitation. I've already given you the chance. Lin Miaomiao was anxious. When was she given the chance? How could she not know it? Was it when she was first called? She wanted to ask Yi Hongwen to take her with him, but she also wanted to bow to him. Caught in a dilemma, Lin Miaomiao simply sulked. Miaomiao is leaving, Liu Kaoyer shouted. We are going to training, aren't you going? Yes, why not? Lin Miaomiao stood up and rushed to the virtual login room. Liu Kaoyer and Feng Licken looked at each other and sighed helplessly. The little guy with paralyzed face was angry again. It was all the big guy's fault. After the new team members who stayed behind left, the team members who were on the mission also began to board the ship. In order to prevent the new team members who were not called from taking advantage of the situation, Yi Hongwen stood at the boarding gate and watched. Lin Xianhao deliberately waited until everyone was aboard before arriving at the boarding gate. He also felt a sense of unease that his sister wasn't on the mission list. Hongwen, shouldn't you explain why the other new team members were able to go on this mission after reaching level 4, but my Miaomiao wasn't? Lin Xianhao asked bluntly. Could it really be that Yi Hongwen was taking revenge on her because she had just deserted the mission? Yi Hongwen frowned. She's young and her vigilance is too low. There are so many newcomers on this mission, I'm afraid I couldn't keep an eye on her. What do you mean by vigilance is too low? Lin Xianhao was puzzled. Yi Hongwen said coldly, she was sitting in the pavilion by the lake just now and someone pushed her overboard. As a brother, don't you know that? So, his sister had been determined not to go on the mission long ago, rather than someone taking revenge on her suddenly, Lin Xianhao thought to himself. And whoever pushed his sister into the water, who is that idiot? He'd have to find out after the mission was over. If you are listening to this novel on a channel other than Fanfic World, it means it was downloaded and re-uploaded without effort. We warmly invite you to visit our channel, Fanfic World. There you will find the original version of this story and many other novels of various genres. We look forward to seeing you dive into a world of incredible novels. Chapter 203, Alien Beasts Living Planet. After the mission crew had all boarded the ship, Yi Hongwen boarded and headed straight for the cockpit. Upon his arrival, Zhao Cheng had already activated the warship. Seeing him enter, Zhao Cheng asked, Boss, are we heading directly to Sanda? Bring up the current satellite surveillance footage of Sanda, Yi Hongwen said. Let's take a look at the situation there first. The massive main screen split in two, revealing the situation on Sanda. There are alien beasts invading on the ground too, Liu Yifei said in disbelief. Aren't alien beasts attacking across planets? How did those alien beasts that are not flying get through? Maybe they were brought there by flying alien beasts, Luo Cheng guessed, one by one. Or one by several. How is that possible? Liu Yifei disagreed. If they were brought there by flying alien beasts, their attack power would be weakened. Will our mecha warriors miss such a good opportunity to defeat the enemy? That's true. Luo Cheng laughed at his unreliable idea, but the air defense shield of Sanda Star is too fragile. It was actually breached in one corner. Fortunately, no one lives there. Liu Yifei rolled his eyes. You are talking nonsense. If there were people living there, the alarm would have been sounded long ago. How could it be breached? The alien beasts are getting smarter and smarter. They use a combination of real and fake methods to attack the protective shield. They choose a few crowded places to pretend to attack, attracting the attention of the warships, but then focus their attacks on uninhabited areas. Yi Hongwen, who had been watching the surveillance footage, suddenly called out, Zhao Cheng, zoom in on the uninhabited grassland in the lower left corner of the camera. There's a small black dot there. Zhao Cheng did as he was told, and the dot suddenly revealed itself to everyone, a small, light blue warship. It's not a warship, Liu Yifei said, but the alien beasts are attacking Sanda Planet. Why would a warship choose to enter at this time? No one answered his question. Everyone focused on the warship's movements, noticing that it had successfully passed through the protective shield and landed on the grassland. The warship's doors opened, the elevator deployed, and then a massive alien beast darted out of the hatch and nimbly descended the elevator, followed by other alien beasts. Hiss, Liu Yifei gasped. Someone could explain how alien beasts could use warships. Did that mean they could attack any planet they wanted in the future? Yi Hongwen's cold face froze. Immediately inform the POW main ship of the situation and tell them to stop the light blue warship. Understood, Zhao Cheng replied and went to contact the pilot of the POW main ship. Luo Cheng recovered from his shock and walked to Yi Hongwen and whispered, Boss, should we go directly to Sanda Star for support next? Yi Hongwen looked at Wen Zixi, who had been silent the whole time, and asked, What do you think? When Zixie's strength was the weakest among the several team leaders, but he had a useful brain and was the think tank of the Shinryu fleet. The gap in the protective shield has been found. The strength of the mist-breaking fleet is several times stronger than ours. It's useless for us to go and reinforce them, Wen Zixie suggested. Why not go directly to the primitive planet where the alien beasts live and check if they have warships to transport the alien beasts and intercept the reinforcements of the alien beasts? Yi Hongwen had a similar idea and nodded. From the surveillance, the situation on Sanda Star is relatively stable now, so there is no rush for support. Have you received any news about which planet the alien beasts came from? Yes, Zhao Cheng replied. The main ship of the mist-breaking fleet has sent news that the alien beasts came from the primitive star next to it. It has been occupied by alien beasts and no humans have settled there. Then do as Zixie thinks and go to the primitive star first. Understood. Zhao Cheng immediately adjusted the coordinates of the advance. Half an hour later, the Shenyu arrived at the primitive planet inhabited by the alien beasts. Zhao Cheng asked, should we go in and investigate? Yi Hongwen considered for a moment and said, have Ship 1 remain outside the primitive planet. If any warships emerge from inside, verify their identities. If we can't, shoot them down. We'll go in and investigate. Identity verification isn't necessary, Luo Cheng said, somewhat puzzled. It's unlikely that anyone emerging from there is one of our own. We need to verify, just in case, Yi Hongwen said calmly. The fleet passed through the atmosphere and entered the primitive planet. There were no humans here, and no traces of advanced technology. The ship's surveillance footage was filled with vast forests. Shortly after entering the primitive planet, the Shenyu was surrounded by a swarm of flying alien beasts. They roared but didn't attack. Boss, should we attack? Zhao Cheng asked. This was the alien beasts' base camp. Taking the initiative wasn't a good idea. But if they didn't, they were afraid too many would gather and they wouldn't be able to handle them. Attack, Yi Hongwen said coldly. No matter how many alien beasts there are, there's a limit. When Zixie explained, if there were enough alien beasts left on this planet, they wouldn't just surround us and not attack. Upon receiving the order, Zhao Cheng unhesitatingly activated the massive energy concentrating cannon surrounding the starship. With a brilliant flash of light, the cannons silently activated, attacking in all directions. The flying alien beasts surrounding the warship scattered, trying to escape, but it was too late. The flying beasts surrounding the warship were reduced to ashes, and suddenly the wailing and roaring of thousands of alien beasts echoed from the ground. The energy concentrating cannons are powerful, but it's a pity that the warship's energy is limited. We can't activate them too often. Otherwise, it would be much easier to just bomb the planet directly, Liu Yifei lamented. Even if there were enough energy, you wouldn't dare bomb this place, Luo Cheng said coldly, unless you want to spend the rest of your life in prison. Article 9 of the Federal Criminal Code prohibits large-scale destruction of a planet's territory. Destruction exceeding 50% carries a sentence of 2,000 years for the perpetrator and 1,000 for an accomplice. Although human lifespans have increased to around 200 years in the interstellar age, compared to prison sentences, 200 years is far too short. This means that even if you strive for reform and a reduced sentence, your chances of escaping prison in your lifetime are slim. So many of the Federation's laws are actually a bit harsh, Liu Yifei said. Luo Cheng gave him a strange look, shook his head, and sighed, you're going crazy again. With this conclusion, no one paid any attention to Liu Yifei. Liu Yifei felt sad. Geniuses are lonely indeed. Not long after, the flying beasts gathered outside the fleet again. Zhao Cheng opened fire again, blasting them to pieces. After repeated attacks, Yi Hongwen ordered the attack to cease. No more attacks. They're trying to deplete the Shinyu's energy, Wen Zixie said, his face grave. Luo Cheng also noticed something amiss. Countless alien beasts are gathering on the ground. If they run out of energy and are forced to land, we're doomed. Zhao Cheng, Yi Hongwen suddenly asked, has the monitoring team spotted any transport warships? No, Zhao Cheng shook his head. But Ship 1 spotted a small, light blue warship leaving Primordial Star. Their request for communication was denied, so Captain Fan ordered it shot down. Yi Hongwen was relieved. It seemed that while the alien beasts had managed to acquire warships, their numbers were limited. As the flying alien beasts gathered in increasing numbers, wailing and attacking the starships, Yi Hongwen finally gave the order, withdraw from Primordial Star and go to Sanda Star for support. Understood, Zhao Cheng replied loudly. Chapter 204, Rookies go to battle. Surrounded by alien beasts, retreating was no easy task. Zhao Cheng had no choice but to activate his super energy cannon once again, annihilating the surrounding beasts and then escaping the primordial star before the next wave arrived. As the Shenyu left the primordial star, a video link from Ship 1 came in. "Boss, should we continue to hold this position?" Fan Lei demanded. "Ship 1 will dock with the main ship and have the new recruits transfer to it," Yi Hongwen said coldly. "Luo Cheng, take 20 veterans to Ship 1, boss, let Yifei go. He's good at staying behind," Luo Cheng tried to bargain. It seemed to him that Ship 1 was destined to hold this position. It would be boring if they couldn't fight. "No, Luo Cheng, what do you mean?" Liu Yifei said anxiously. "I finally got this chance to fight, and you're trying to steal it. I'm just worried you're not used to it after not being on a mission for so long," Luo Cheng said, acting like he was concerned for his good friend. "I'm very used to it," Liu Yifei gritted his teeth. While the two argued, refusing to relent, the Shenyu and the number 1 auxiliary ship had already docked, and Wu Zhen, accompanied by over 30 new recruits, had entered the main ship. "Shut up," Yi Hongwen interrupted their frivolous argument. "Liu Yifei is in charge of training the new recruits, and he'll lead them on their first mission." "Luo Cheng," Yi Hongwen didn't utter the rest of the sentence, but Luo Cheng understood his meaning and, with his ears drooping, headed for the crew's restroom. After Luo Cheng sent 20 veterans to the number 1 auxiliary ship, the two warships disengaged. The number 1 auxiliary ship remained stationed, while the Shenyu accelerated towards Sanda Planet. Upon entering Sanda Planet, the Shenyu fleet discovered a large number of alien beasts, often several against each mecha pilot. Fighting on both ground and air fronts, and having to protect the defenseless civilians, the mist-breaking fleet was on the defensive. Fortunately, the alien beasts, seemingly unpredictable or seeking something, did not launch a frenzied attack. "Yifei, get ready. Take the new recruits out for some practice," Yi Hongwen pointed to a spot on the surveillance screen where there were fewer alien beasts. "Let's team up and fight there. Keep an eye on their safety." "Yes," Liu Yifei responded, exiting the cockpit. In the lounge, the veterans, led by Wen Zixi, had already been dispatched to defend the ship against the enemy. The new recruits gathered to watch the battle footage on the surveillance cameras, many eager to go out. Upon seeing Liu Yifei enter, the new recruits immediately surrounded him, demanding when they could go out, giving Liu Yifei a headache. "Everyone who wants to fight, shut up and listen to me," Liu Yifei shouted. The new recruits instantly quieted down, though some still had a look of reluctance on their faces. Liu Yifei suddenly felt that not switching shifts with Luo Cheng was a loss for him. Leading a group of ignorant new recruits to fight a ghostly alien beast, while serving as mere babysitters and bodyguards was already a problem. Liu Yifei said sternly, "Follow me when we go out. Don't go alone, or you'll be devoured by the alien beasts. Don't think your mechas are big, you'll find out the alien beasts' mouths are even bigger. Even if it swallowed us, it couldn't digest the mechas," one recruit said weakly. "It can't digest the mechas, but it can digest you. Their teeth are powerful. They can bite right through the mech's cabin and drag the mech master out," Liu Yifei said. Some recruits instantly wilted, while others remained skeptical. "If the alien beasts are so powerful, why haven't we heard of them?" "Believe it or not," Liu Yifei said, not wanting to explain. "Follow me. Don't fall behind," the recruits responded in unison, following Liu Yifei obediently. No one rushed to leave. Zhu Chen walked at the back of the group, smiling faintly. From beginning to end, he showed no signs of impatience or hesitation, which intrigued Xiao Zier, who was walking beside him. Leveraging their former classmate status, Xiao Zier smiled sweetly and asked, "Zhu Chen, aren't you afraid of those exotic beasts?" "Brother Liu said their fangs are very powerful." Zhu Chen smiled and replied, "Mech pilots don't need to fight in close combat, so as long as we're careful, it won't be a big deal. Besides, while some exotic beasts might have powerful fangs, not all do." As far as he knew, only the descendants of the ancient great demons could possess such power. However, there weren't many exotic beasts left who could inherit that ancient bloodline. "You're amazing," Xiao Zier praised with sparkling eyes. Then, she remembered a piece of news she'd heard recently. "By the way, I heard you and Yu Zixin are getting engaged." Zhu Chen was surprised. How had this news gotten out? Then he couldn't help but smile. Yes, Kanir was extremely unhappy with their secrecy, so he had to help spread the word. Although Zhu Chen didn't reply, Xiaozier knew the answer. A hint of melancholy flashed in her eyes. My idol is getting engaged. I really envy you, Zixin. Xiaozier quickly recovered from her low mood and smiled in congratulations. It's true that you don't deny it. Congratulations. But, we're old classmates after all, so don't forget my share of the wedding candy. My idol is so gentle, he definitely wouldn't forget to give out wedding candy, Yun Yan, walking in front, said with a grin, turning back. I'm more concerned about when they're getting engaged. They'll probably need time off to go back and have the engagement party. Can we ask Miaomiao to give us extra food then? Xiaozier frowned. It's not Miaomiao's engagement party, why would they ask her to give us extra food? They're good friends, right? Shouldn't she show some appreciation for her friend's engagement? Yun Yan said confidently. Hey, ladies, have you forgotten what you're doing? Liu Yifei's voice suddenly interrupted. Xiaozier and Yun Yan realized they had already reached the ship's gate. Everyone else had boarded their mechas, ready to depart. They were immediately embarrassed. Their idol was so disloyal for not even reminding them. After the last two recruits entered the mech, Liu Yifei also boarded. He took a deep breath and spoke into the team chat. Soon, you'll be engaging in real combat. The captain is merely giving you a brief introduction to combat on this mission. Your only requirement is to return safely, then, let's go. Fight to protect our beautiful planet, Liu Yifei shouted. The enthused recruits shouted, fight to protect our beautiful planet. With their slogans, Liu Yifei took the lead in piloting the mech toward an area with fewer alien beasts, followed closely by the other recruits. In reality, even if the alien beasts were few in number, they were still several times more numerous. The recruits, their blood boiling from the shouting, were immediately savaged by the beasts, sending them fleeing in panic. Several beasts chased each mech, some spewing fire, some spitting water, some shooting ice. The barrage of attacks left the high-spirited recruits with no chance of retaliation. Liu Yifei shouted with a helpless smile, everyone relax, just treat it as a normal battle. The more nervous you are, the harder it will be to find opportunities to attack. However, his comfort was of no use. Everyone continued to flee as usual, and only a few people were able to calm down and look for opportunities to fight back. Chapter 205 7th Level Beast. Zhu Chen was one of the few recruits who managed to remain calm. After dodging several attacks from the alien beasts, he realized that while their attacks were intense, they weren't as powerful as he'd imagined. Of course, that didn't mean Zhu Chen couldn't just stand there and let the beasts attack him. Rather, he could find ways to counterattack while dodging. 4 to 5 meter long flying alien beasts were surrounding Zhu Chen. The most formidable of these was a giant bird, blazing red with a long, iridescent tail. Its flames could burn and deform the exterior of a mecha if touched. The other two were water-type beasts, constantly spraying water at Zhu Chen, seemingly trying to clean his mecha. Unfortunately, the water was corrosive. After observing for a while, Zhu Chen finally decided to attack a fire-type beast first. He always preferred to finish the difficult tasks first, then move on to the simple ones. Beike, lock onto the red beast and attack directly in the head. Zhu Chen mentally mapped out the dodging and attacking strategies. As Zhu Chen killed his first alien beast, the other recruits gradually regained their composure, calmly dodging the beast's attacks and looking for opportunities to counterattack. Beike, well done, Liu Yifei praised as he blew up half of a black flying alien beast. As soon as Liu Yifei finished speaking, the quiet team chat erupted in laughter. What are you laughing at? Brother Liu is right, Beike is pretty awesome, Yun Yan asked, puzzled. I'm happy for Beike. He's the first of our mechas to destroy an alien beast, Li Nanchan said with a smile. Then you should also praise Zhu Chen, Xiaozier said indignantly. If he weren't so powerful, Beike wouldn't have been able to kill the alien beast. Of course Zhu Chen is also powerful, but seeing his mecha makes me want to laugh, Yun Yan said with a grin. It wasn't just Yun Yan, everyone who had seen Zhu Chen's mecha couldn't help but laugh, because Beike had now been upgraded, from just being called Beike to living up to the name. Upon joining the fleet, new recruits' mechas were required to register. Regulations prohibited alterations to the mecha's appearance after registration, unless they were replacing a new one. Therefore, many recruits painstakingly crafted their mechas to be distinctive. Beike's new look was undoubtedly unique. The black mecha featured a pair of emerald green electronic eyes. A giant, vibrant cabbage was painted on the front of the mecha's cabin, while the back was covered in hundreds of cabbages of various sizes. Zhu Chen's mecha was so impressive that the entire fleet was impressed. Zhu Chen remained a remarkably handsome figure upon joining the fleet, always leading the way during training, drawing admiring glances. However, Bai Ke had given him a somewhat amusing air. Of course, everyone knew the mastermind behind Bai Ke's new look. Zhu Chen dismissed the teasing, saying, "That's all you can say." After some banter, the initially nervous recruits relaxed, and dealing with the monsters became easier. Just as things looked promising, a series of clear, distant cries echoed from the sky, and a gigantic, three-headed blackbird mysteriously appeared. Its wingspan was a staggering 10 meters long and 5 meters wide, and a single flap could unleash a mighty gust of wind. Its eyes, like black glass, held a dead silence, sending shivers down anyone's spine. After the bird's appearance, the alien beasts that had been battling the mech pilots began to cry out and retreat upwards. The mech pilots, having lost their opponents, were momentarily stunned. Then, the three-headed bird opened its mouth and attacked them, each emitting a different attack: fire, water, and wind. The mech pilots, unable to react, couldn't even flee. After being struck, their mechas were severely damaged and fell. "It's a 7th-tier three-headed bird. Everyone, retreat to the warships," Liu Yifei cried out. 7th tier? The recruits were filled with awe. The monsters they just fought were only level 2 or 3, and they'd already struggled. Now a level 7, three-headed bird had appeared. How could they possibly handle it? "What are you afraid of?" Liu Yifei, as if sensing their concern, said. "The boss is out now." Everyone retreated to the ship, and the Shenyu immediately set sail, away from the center of the battlefield. Liu Yifei then called everyone back to the lounge to watch the live stream. "You're back before you've had enough," Yuan Yan said, a little frustrated. "What's the rush? There'll be more opportunities later." Xiao Zier stared at the screen. "Look, the boss is so handsome. And that other dark blue level 6 mech is also very handsome. Is that Po Wu's? Nonsense. Don't forget, the boss is the only level 6 mech operator in our fleet." Yuan Yan rolled her eyes and returned to watching the live stream intently. On the battlefield, Yi Hongwen, known for his handsomeness, was feeling uneasy. A level 7 monster was no pushover. He and Po Wu's second-in-command would achieve nothing by joining forces, they could only temporarily contain it. Yi Hongwen's face darkened. After dodging another attack from the three-headed bird, he directed his Black Lotus to focus its attacks on the bird's wings while he contacted the Mist-Breaking's deputy captain, Lei Hanayu. "Deputy Captain Lei," Yi Hongwen asked bluntly, "isn't your captain here?" "He's busy." Lei Hanayu's voice was a bit muffled. "Damn. Who knew we'd encounter such a rare, level 7 alien beast?" Being busy was just an excuse. The captain of the Mist-Breaking was a level 7 mecha pilot, but he was over 100 years old and rarely participated in ordinary missions. A level 7 alien beast was considered a very advanced beast in the interstellar age. While this alien beast attack was rare, it wasn't unheard of, so the Mist-Breaking's captain didn't take it seriously, sending only a deputy captain to lead the team. "This three-headed bird is more than you and I can destroy. I hope you can notify your captain to come as soon as possible." Yi Hongwen pursed his lips, dodging a gust of wind and firing a laser cannon at the left side of the three-headed bird's hair. The three-headed bird was massive, yet incredibly agile. With a flap of its wings, it soared significantly higher, dodging most of the attacks. Lei Hanayu frowned. "I've already notified the captain, but isn't it a little late to arrive now?" The Mist-Breaking fleet's planet was closer, but it would still take over 20 minutes to arrive. Lei Hanayu doubted that the two level 6 mecha pilots could hold out until then. "With Vice Captain Lei's cooperation, I can temporarily repel it," Yi Hongwen said. Lei Hanayu was astonished. The young people of today were truly remarkable. Someone 20 or 30 years younger than him could confidently claim to have repelled a level 7 alien beast. He didn't question it, but simply smiled and said, "Captain Yi, please tell me how we can cooperate. I'd like to exchange the energy card." "Vice Captain Lei, please hold the three-headed bird alone," Yi Hongwen said bluntly. A few days ago, Yi Hongwen had discovered tracking bullets at the Chengguang Mecha Club. These were new energy bullets that Haiguang hadn't officially sold yet. They were said to be quite energy-intensive, unstable, and expensive. If Yi Hongwen had not witnessed the special power of the tracking bullet with his own eyes, he might not have installed it. However, today, this energy bullet might come in handy. Chapter 206: A Temporary Truce. Although Lei Zhenyu couldn't understand Yi Hongwen's confidence in temporarily repelling the three-headed bird, he nonetheless cooperated and unleashed his ultimate attack, fully engaging the bird's attention. Breaking free from the attack, Yi Hongwen pulled a level 5 energy card from his space button. Just as he was about to replace it, he hesitated. 3 seconds later, he decisively tossed the level 5 card back into the button and pulled out a level 6 energy card. After swapping the energy card for Black Lotus, Yi Hongwen didn't rush back into the battle circle. Instead, he anticipated the three-headed bird's evasive direction and directed Black Lotus to fly forward. As expected, Lei Zhenyu unleashed his ultimate attack once again, and the three-headed bird dodged in Yi Hongwen's direction, completely ignoring him and only chirping twice in a show of defiance. Just as the three-headed bird was about to attack to clear the obstacle, Yi Hongwen fired a tracking missile. The tracking bullet was fast, but the three-headed bird ignored it, expressing its displeasure at Yi Hongwen for not giving way and attacking. After casually dodging it, it opened its mouth and spit out a line of fire. The line of fire continued to expand and grow, eventually converging into a fire dragon that rushed towards Yi Hongwen. "Be careful," Lei Zhenyu shouted, somewhat disappointed with Yi Hongwen's performance. While the previous attack was powerful, the fact that the three-headed bird easily dodged it proved that it lacked the ability to scare off a level 7 alien beast. Even before the fire dragon took shape, Yi Hongwen had already chosen his evasive direction. Instead of dodging upwards, he plummeted to the ground, only stabilizing his mech just as it was about to collide with the Sanda Star's protective shield. The three-headed bird cried out in dissatisfaction and flapped its wings, attempting to continue the pursuit. However, it didn't notice that the attack it had just dodged had turned and reappeared behind it. Its momentary negligence brought it to its knees, and the tracking bullet struck it directly in the abdomen. "Chew!" the three-headed bird cried shrilly. Lei Zhenyu stared in amazement at the blood-soaked abdomen of the three-headed bird. After a long pause, he excitedly asked, "What kind of energy bullet did Captain Yi just use?" "It can actually track, and it's quite powerful. It's one of Heguang's new tracking bullets," Yi Hongwen replied calmly. "Amazing. I'll buy some later," Lei Zhenyu praised as he chased the three-headed bird, not forgetting to call out to Yi Hongwen, "It's working so well. Hurry up and fire a few more bullets to finish off this 7th-level beast." "I'm afraid not," Yi Hongwen frowned as he looked at the energy meter, which showed only 50%. "My new 6th-level energy card has already used up half its energy after firing just one tracking bullet. Even firing another Black Lotus would drain the energy and cause the energy to drop." Lei Zhenyu was stunned. "No way. That's a real energy drain." Although he couldn't leave the three-headed bird behind, it was seriously injured and under siege by 2 6th-level mechas. It couldn't hold out any longer. With a few sharp cries, it retreated with its remaining men into the mountains west of Sanda Star. At the same time, the alien beasts on the ground also rushed in the direction of the flying alien beasts' retreat. Yi Hongwen was exhausted when he returned to the ship. Most of his mental energy had been depleted in the battle. If it weren't for the unexpected attack of the tracking missile, by the time his mental energy was completely depleted, the battle would have been lost. "Boss, do you want to go back to your room and rest?" Liu Yifei looked at him worriedly. "No," Yi Hongwen shook his head, turning to Zhao Cheng. "Contact the Mist Breaker and find their deputy captain." Although the alien beasts had temporarily retreated, it was no time to relax. Every alien beast attack had a reason, especially this strenuous, cross-planetary attack. It was no idle effort for a level 7 alien beast. Not only Yi Hongwen, but also the Mist Breaker's deputy captain, Lei Zhenyu, agreed. Zhao Cheng quickly contacted the Mist Breaker's cockpit, and Lei Zhenyu appeared on the screen. "Captain Yi, what's the matter?" Lei Zhenyu's face was unmistakable with fatigue. Yi Hongwen said expressionlessly, "Deputy Captain Lei, I have a question for you, please go ahead," Lei Zhenyu said simply. Yi Hongwen said, "The 7th-level alien beasts also participated in the alien beast attack this time. There must be a major reason. I don't know if you have found any useful information." Lei Zhenyu shook his head. "No clues have been found for the time being. After receiving the order to defend against the enemy this time, our fleet has been busy dealing with the endless stream of alien beasts, and has not found any time to find the reason. Maybe a major disaster happened on the planet where they live, and they can no longer live there." "Impossible," Yi Hongwen rejected it without hesitation. "Before entering Sanda Star, our fleet went to the primitive star. Although the weather there is hot, the forest coverage area is large, and the species are rich and varied. There is no shortage of water and food. Lay's Henai was surprised. Could it be that someone on Sanda Star did something to anger them, which led to the attack of the alien beasts? By the way, just now, with your reminder, we captured that small battleship, Liu Yifei said anxiously after hearing this. Who is driving the battleship? Did we catch a traitor to mankind? These are also the questions Yi Hongwen wanted to know. When he heard someone asking, he didn't say a word. That would be fine, Lay's Henai sighed. Unfortunately, there are no humans inside, only 2 level 5, 8-legged mutant octopuses. Mutated octopuses? Liu Yifei was shocked. Could it be that the warship was actually being piloted by 2 octopuses? Their IQ was quite high. Yi Hongwen's brows nearly knitted together. If the alien beasts were truly piloting the warships, humanity would be in trouble. While they couldn't buy warships through normal channels, it wasn't impossible for them to seize the merchant ship. You need someone to teach you how to fly a spaceship, right? Could it be that the mutant octopus learned it all on its own? Fan Lei was puzzled. Besides, I haven't heard of anyone's small warships being stolen by alien beasts recently, Liu Yifei said with a puzzled look. Maybe the alien beasts, at higher levels, can transform, taking on human form to infiltrate the planet and learn, and then buy those small warships. Yifei, are you kidding? Fan Lei was speechless. This was too far-fetched. Lay's Henai Yi Hongwen, however, disagreed. This world possessed mutated beasts capable of breathing fire and water, and transforming into humans wasn't out of the question. The Federation's classified database seemed to contain records of such cases. Captain Yi, Lay's Henai said, I think we need to report this to our superiors and request access to the classified database for information we need. Also, we could investigate the owner of that warship. Yi Hongwen agreed, but said, we, the Shenyu, are merely supporting forces in this operation. We'll have to trouble Vice Captain Lei with these matters. We await your good news. With that, Yi Hongwen signaled Zhao Cheng with a glance to end the call. Aboard the main ship, the Mistbreaker, Lay's Henai stared blankly at the restored surveillance screen. He hadn't expected Yi Hongwen to push all the responsibility onto him. Wasn't Captain Shen Yu known to be a very responsible young man? Well, this mission truly focused on their part, and Lay's Henai resigned himself to his fate and got to work. Chapter 207, Extra Meal if you don't complete the mission. The battle on Sanda Planet was on hold, with engineers busy repairing the shield. The Shenyu team also had a chance to rest and enjoy a feast cooked by robots. While the taste wasn't great, it was better than drinking nutrient solution. In the kitchen at the Shenyu base, Lin Miaomiao was busy making dumplings. Ever since she learned her name wasn't on the mission list, she'd taken 10,000 points of damage, leaving her feeling pissed. This irritation persisted even after she'd beaten several level 3 mech operators. Her friend's attempts at comfort were futile, until Liu Kaoyer finally suggested, since they won't let you go on the mission, why don't you make a delicious snack for everyone while they were away? After all, the aliens attacking the planet won't be back that quickly. Lin Miaomiao was about to refuse, but then she thought it made sense. If they were so hard working on the mission, knowing their remaining teammates were enjoying delicious meals would surely be a bittersweet experience. That's it, Lin Miaomiao said, clenching her fist. When she arrived in the kitchen, Number 1 and the others were already preparing dinner. Since there weren't many people dining, they'd prepared half the usual portions, giving them more time. Lin Miaomiao glanced at the ingredients the robots had prepared and quickly identified stir-fried carrots and meat, stir-fried peas and meat, and steamed fish. She felt there were still plenty of these dishes, and adding more would be a bit redundant. Since the rice hadn't been steamed yet, she decided to make dumplings. Before her time travel, Lin Miaomiao had loved dumplings. After arriving in the interstellar age, she'd tried making them a few times, but she found them a bit cumbersome. After all, the robot's hands were rough, and their quick movements easily tore the wrappers. She also found the fillings in ready-made dumplings lacking flavor. Finally, Lin Miaomiao went to the Star Network and Teobao. After a long search, she finally found a dumpling-making tool, a round, foldable stainless steel box. Simply place the wrappers inside, add the filling, fold it in half, and open it to create a beautifully patterned dumpling. Lin Miaomiao prepared the dumpling fillings, including leek and pork filling, mushroom and pork filling, scallion and egg filling, and pure beef filling, all of which she likes. After the fillings were prepared, Lin Miaomiao led robots number 2 and 3 to start making dumplings. As for the dumpling wrappers, number 1 was already rolling them out. The dumplings were almost finished, so Lin Miaomiao asked the 3 robots to continue making dumplings while she went to cook. She also boiled 2 large buckets of water and put the dumplings in to cook 10 minutes before the meal was served, so as not to cook them too early and make them taste bad. When the meal started at 5:30, everyone who stayed behind rushed into the kitchen. Whenever there was something delicious, they would come to eat on time. Lin Miaomiao didn't care about the people in line. After packing her own food, she went to the restaurant on the 2nd floor. Because there were not many people left behind, Liu Kaoyu and the others quickly prepared dinner and brought it up. The first thing Yu Zixin did after sitting down wasn't to eat his dumplings. Instead, he took a photo of his dinner with his communicator. He then sent the photo to Zhu Chen, adding a sly comment, "Honey, Miaomiao started cooking as soon as you guys left for your mission. I'll help you with some." After sending the photo, Yu Zixin finally grabbed his chopsticks and began to eat. "Are you sending photos to Zhu Chen?" Liu Kaoyu asked, slurring her words as she gnawed on her dumplings. Yu Zixin nodded. "Yeah, we definitely had to tell them we had extra food, so they know." It wasn't just Lin Miaomiao who was upset, all the remaining recruits were upset. They'd all arrived in the same batch, so why were they supposed to go on their mission first? Not to mention guarding their base was on Shaoyin Star, where no pirates dared to sabotage them. So, Yu Zixin was in a bad mood, and naturally, he wanted to piss off his fellow mission buddies. Even if he couldn't piss off the gentle and calm Zhu Chen, he could still piss off his teammates. Not long after the photo was sent, Zhu Chen sent a video message. Yu Zixin answered but ignored him, just ate dumplings in front of him. Zhu Chen smiled. "Zixin, is he mad because he can't go on the mission?" Yu Zixin snorted. "Who's mad? I just told you to have delicious food tonight, but it's a pity you don't have any, then you have to eat more." Zhu Chen glanced at him with a smile and said lightly, "It's better to be fatter. If you are too thin, it will be uncomfortable to hug you." Plop! The chopsticks in the hands of Lin Miaomiao and others fell on the table. Did they hear something they shouldn't have heard? I hope they were not silenced by someone, right? Zhu Chen, you big hooligan. Yu Zixin hung up the video call with a red face, turned to Lin Miaomiao and others with round glasses and said, "What are you looking at? Don't you know not to listen to inappropriate things?" Lin Miaomiao said with a wooden face, "If you can't listen, you should go back to your room to answer the phone. Besides, isn't it just that your fiancé complains that your touch is not good? Before you get married, I will cook for you every day and guarantee that you will be fattened up. Pigs are fattened to be slaughtered, and Yu Zixin is fattened to be married. As a good friend, Lin Miaomiao has the responsibility to fatten him up." "No need," Yu Zixin said embarrassedly, his face no longer showing his usual nonchalant look. "I'm fine like this, neither fat nor thin. I think it's necessary." Liu Kaoyu said slyly, "What if Zhu Chen feels that you don't feel good on the wedding night and wants to return you?" Yu Zixin got angry and completely forgot where he was. He shouted, "Liu Kaoyu, are you a woman or not? You say anything." The friends in the restaurant immediately saluted Yu Zixin, but the culprit Liu Kaoyu said indifferently, "Don't get excited, it doesn't matter to you whether I'm a woman or not. You just need to know that I like men like you, Kaoyu." Feng Licken said seriously, "It's not nice for you to bully Zixin like this. Licken is the kindest." Yu Zixin was very grateful. He knew that his vision for making friends would not be so bad that it would anger heaven and man. Feng Licken ignored him and continued to educate Liu Kaoyu. "You should know that Zhu Chen is very protective of his people. When he comes back and finds out that you bullied Zixin, you can just wait to be abused. It's your fault for being a single dog." "Yeah, I actually forgot about this." Liu Kaoyu realized her mistake and hurriedly said to Yu Zixin, "Axin, I was wrong. I will never bully you again. And I will help Miaomiao to fatten you up." "Don't be angry." Yu Zixin gritted his teeth. "Today, these women are planning to unite to bully him, right? It doesn't matter, he still has brothers to help him." He turned around and wanted to ask his brothers for help, and then he was stunned. At this time, Zhang Xingyan was saying to Lin Miaomiao with a smile on his face, "Do you like me to be fatter or thinner? As long as you say it, I will work hard to lose weight or gain weight." Lin Miaomiao replied with a wooden face, "I don't like it either. Some people can only be friends for life, no matter they are beautiful or ugly, fat or thin." She thinks so in her heart. Zhang Xingyan's eyes lit up when he heard this. "Then you must like girls who are neither fat nor thin." That's great. I have a standard body shape now, the doctor said so, Uzixon. He must have been blinded to have accepted such an embarrassing thing as his brother. Chapter 208, The Unromantic Idiot. On Sanda Planet, the Shenyu fleet finished dinner and prepared to rest. The alien beasts could return at any moment, so they needed to seize every opportunity to rest. The new recruits, still unused to this routine, lingered in the dining hall after dinner, chatting. One, bored, called a friend back home to brag about killing a level 3 alien beast. Then, he heard a devastating news. What? You guys got extra food tonight? Lin Miaomiao cooked again, and we even had dumplings. Liu Yifei, who had just entered the dining hall, was taken aback. He had come to encourage the new recruits to go to bed early, but who would have known such a heartbreaking news? Miaomiao had taken advantage of their mission to get an extra meal. How disloyal. She's taking advantage of the opportunity to eat something delicious, Liu Yifei muttered unhappily. He hadn't had dumplings in a long time. Number 1 and the others couldn't make them. Breakfast consisted of steamed buns, porridge, boiled eggs, and ham, and he was tired of them. Didn't you leave any for me? Someone continued on the video chat. The person on the other end of the video chat arrogantly said, of course not. You guys are having so much fun fighting level 3 monsters, why do you need to eat dumplings? With that, the video chat was instantly disconnected. Many people who wanted to eat dumplings burst into tears. It was so unfair. They worked so hard on the mission, but in the end, they ate less than those who stayed behind. Liu Yifei began to consider whether he should suggest to a boss that Lin Miaomiao be taken on the next mission. She wouldn't have to go out and fight monsters and pirates, just cook for everyone. But thinking about it, he knew that Lin Miaomiao would definitely not agree. Liu Yifei sighed. It was all the boss's fault for not living up to his expectations. He pushed the girl who originally liked him away. In the past few months, the well-behaved girl had developed a wild side. Brother Liu, why are you standing there? Come over and chat if you have nothing to do, Xiao Zier greeted in a sweet voice. Her idol was getting engaged, but the bride wasn't her. Xiao Zier decided to give up and find another man worth loving, working hard to get married soon. Liu Yifei seemed quite nice, with a sunny appearance and a cheerful personality. She thought he was worth observing. Xiao Zier's idea was good, but Liu Yifei didn't know. He had already remembered the purpose of their visit and refused without hesitation, saying, "What are you talking about? Go to bed early. If a monster attacks in the middle of the night, I wonder if you'll still have the energy to fight it," Xiao Zier grumbled. This man was so unromantic. He'd been scolded for asking her to chat, and his impression score was deducted by 5 points. Even after being scolded, Xiao Zier didn't give up. In a voice full of sugar, "But Brother Liu, what should I do if I can't sleep? What should I do? Listen to a lullaby or count sheep? There are so many ways. Anyone with a decent brain can think of them," Liu Yifei said with a sullen face. He was still lost in the sadness of Miaomiao got a snack, but I didn't get any, and had completely forgotten that he was dealing with a soft girl. Xiao Zier was so angry that her eyes turned red. "You are the pig, your whole family is pigs. What sunny and cheerful person is actually a fool?" Xiao Zier decided to cross Liu Yifei off the observation list and take a look at Captain Luo Chang. Although he looks ordinary, he looks very reliable. Making up her mind, Xiao Zier called to Yun Yan who was sitting next to her. "Let's go back to the room and sleep, Zier. Didn't you say you couldn't sleep?" Yun Yan was a little confused. "If you can't sleep, just continue chatting. It would be boring to go back to the room." Xiao Zier said calmly, "I wasn't sleepy just now, but I am sleepy now." "Oh," Yun Yan didn't ask any further questions. "Since you're sleepy, let's go." The two walked away hand in hand, and Liu Yifei, who was scolded inexplicably, muttered, "This Xiao Zier is too weird. Why does she scold me when she can't sleep?" Jin Yangho smiled a little strangely. "It's your fault, Brother Liu. You are a man who doesn't understand romance. You deserve to be scolded." "What?" Xiao Jun couldn't help but exclaimed. "The beautiful Xiao actually fell in love with Brother Liu? There's nothing wrong with her eyes. What nonsense are you talking about? It's because she has good taste that she likes him." Liu Yifei patted Xiao Jun's head in dissatisfaction, but he was a little proud in his heart. It seemed that he was quite charming, so he praised him. Her taste is not bad, considering Xiao Zier's good taste. Liu Yifei decided to treat her better in the future, but it was impossible for him to accept her easily. He was a principled man, and he had to know her for at least half a year before considering further development. Liu Yifei's thoughts were just beginning to flow when Jin Yangho poured cold water on him. Zier certainly has good taste. I think she's already changed her mind and looking for her next target. It had to be said that as a classmate and deskmate, Jin Yangho knew Xiao Zier quite well and had a pretty good idea of her thoughts. A woman so easily fickle. Thank goodness I didn't treat her well. Liu Yifei's face darkened. Jin Yangho smiled. Brother Liu, don't misunderstand Zier. She has her own reasons. It turned out that Xiao Zier's decision to join the Shenyu fleet was met with unanimous opposition from her family. Any other girl would have naturally changed her mind, but this girl, in her belated rebellious phase, had defied her family's objections and joined the Shenyu fleet. With the relationship settled, the Xiao family had to resort to indirect means. They frequently sent her photos of promising young men, hoping to find her a suitable partner. Once she married, wouldn't it be natural for her to transfer to her husband's fleet? To avoid sparking their daughter's rebellious streak, Xiao's parents earnestly advised, "We don't object to your joining Shenyu, but we hope you'll get married soon, so you don't have to wait for marriage while you're in the fleet, and you'll have someone to keep you company." Xiao Zier was deeply moved. Her parents were truly doing this for her own good, so she overcame her rebellious phase and began her blind date journey. However, things weren't going smoothly, as she discovered that the potential partners were all quite far away. Since they were supposed to be her companions, she had to find someone close by, Xiao Zier reasoned, and began her search for a boyfriend within the fleet. I see. Liu Yifei's scowl finally softened. But you seem to know her well. Why wouldn't she consider you? Jin Yangho smiled shyly. We've been deskmates for 4 years. We're so close, it's hard to make a move. Everyone, wow, that's a beast. He's only thinking about making a move. The girl was so angry that she ran away. It was useless to regret it now. Liu Yifei sighed deeply and said to the recruits, "Okay, go back to sleep. If anyone still can't sleep, go to the training room and run 30,000 meters before going back to the room." After saying that, Liu Yifei stared at the recruits with wide eyes, using his actions to show that he was here to supervise everyone's sleep. Can you still have a pleasant chat when the captain is staring at you like this? Of course not. In less than 10 minutes, the restaurant became empty. Liu Yifei, who left last, shook his head and said, "Newcomers nowadays are so unconscious, especially Miaomiao. She actually treated us like this. I really want to eat dumplings. I was considering whether to add more chapters today or tomorrow, and then decided to do it now. 2 more chapters. Thank you to the friends who gave rewards and voted for the monthly tickets this week. As for the names, I won't mention them one by one because I'm too lazy. So, don't look down on me. Oh. Chapter 209 The Reasons Why the Alien Beasts Attacked the Planet. That night, while Lin Miaomiao and the other new recruits stationed at the base slept soundly, the new recruits aboard the Shenyu were awakened at 3 in the morning by the alarm for an emergency muster. The alien beasts had launched another attack. Originally, the alien beasts hadn't intended to attack, having merely sent a few stealthy beasts into the town at night. However, their massive size caught the mech operators on guard, who came to intercept them, and a fight ensued. The alien beasts were already ill-tempered, and after their actions were exposed and the two sides engaged, they simply mustered all their strength and launched another attack. The veterans, awakening, skillfully deployed their mechas to fight. The sleepy new recruits tried to follow, but were stopped by Liu Yifei. "Brother Liu, isn't there a fight going on? Why didn't you let us help?" Xiao Jun asked, yawning. His hair was still a mess from his hasty rise, his buttons were tangled, and he'd forgotten to fasten his belt. Liu Yifei calmly surveyed the group, noting that, aside from Zhu Chen and a few female soldiers, everyone else looked identical to Xiao Jun. Some even looked even worse, with suspicious spots at the corners of their eyes. "Did you look in the mirror after getting up?" Liu Yifei asked. "You're kidding?" Xiao Jun glared. "We can't delay the emergency call, so why would we have time to look in the mirror?" The male soldiers echoed him. They were also pressed for time. They didn't have the energy to look in the mirror and admire themselves. Liu Yifei nodded. "I suppose so, otherwise you wouldn't all look like refugees right now." The female soldiers glanced at each other, relieved to confirm they weren't among the refugees. They finally had the time to observe the male soldiers, and they all burst out laughing. Liu Yifei's description was truly apt. Xiao Zier silently crossed out several candidates on her list of boyfriends. As a Virgo, she was a bit of a germaphobe and would definitely stay away from anyone who didn't care about their appearance. Under Liu Yifei's urging, the refugees had to go to the bathroom to tidy up their appearance. After a lot of trouble, the recruits woke up and were in better spirits. Liu Yifei took them out only when he was satisfied. Because he had some experience during the day, he did not deliberately find a place with fewer alien beasts to practice this time. Instead, he took them to the place with the most alien beasts. When we go on a mission, we must learn to cooperate with our companions and help each other, so as to ensure our own safety and the safety of our companions, said Liu Yifei. After taking the recruits into the battlefield and instructing them to enter the fleet's main channel and obey the captain's orders, Liu Yifei returned to the Shinai and entered the cockpit. Although they don't have to drive the warship now, the pilots can't rest either. They are discussing the night attack of alien beasts with Yi Hongwen and several team leaders. I think the alien beasts' night raids weren't meant to hurt anyone, but to be looking for something, when Zixi frowned as he stared at the surveillance screen. I just don't know what they're looking for, to the point of sacrificing so many alien beasts. Have they tracked down all the people aboard the 2 warships used by the alien beasts? Liu Yifei interrupted. They did. It's a man named Hu Zhi, when Zixi replied. He's from Yemen, not very old, only 31. He started from scratch and founded the Hu's fresh food chain, with his own farms and ranches. What about those 2 warships? Liu Yifei asked curiously. I know this, Wu Xin yelled. It is said that they were robbed by alien beasts when they were transporting fresh food to Shaoyin Star 3 years ago. Because they were rich and powerful, they didn't care about 2 warships, so they didn't call the police. Liu Yifei curled his lips, a little unconvinced. That's not right. They didn't call the police after being robbed, but why didn't they ask for help from nearby warships when they were robbed? Yifei, you actually found out too. Luo Cheng pretended to be surprised. I thought you couldn't notice the problem here. Go away. Do you think I'm stupid? Liu Yifei glared at him dissatisfiedly. This guy never understood what brotherly love was. He would laugh at him whenever he got the chance. Also, why didn't you go to guard the number 1 ship, and come to the main ship? Luo Cheng looked at him provocatively. I'm just worried that someone is not capable enough, so I came here to help, you bastard. Liu Yifei cursed, stretching out his fist at Luo Cheng. Seeing the 2 men about to come to blows over a disagreement, Yi Hongwen coldly said, Stop. If you want to fight, go outside. Don't mess around here. Liu Yifei didn't dare to fight back. He just snorted and turned his head away, ignoring the annoying Luo Cheng. The discussion then continued. When Zixi said, if someone went to Yuanqi Star and stole something valuable from the Yuanqi Star, then the Yuanqi Star's reckless attack on Sanda Star makes sense. The question now is, who stole what from the Yuanqi Star? Besides the Yuanqi Star, only the thieves knew the answer. Unfortunately, they couldn't communicate with the Yuanqi Star, and the thieves didn't seem to have any intention of coming forward. Yi Hongwen stared at the surveillance screen for a long moment, thinking. Then he turned to Zhao Cheng and said, contact the people at the Sanda Star Satellite Monitoring Center and have them investigate how many starships have left Sanda Star in the past few days, and which ones are heading towards Yuanqi Star and returning so quickly. Understood, Zhao Cheng replied, and went to contact them. Then we can only wait for news, Wen Zixi said with a gentle smile. But a certain idiot who was hiding in the corner planting mushrooms suddenly said, why does that Hu Zhi have to transport fresh produce through the primitive planet? It seems that there are no planets suitable for planting and grazing here. What did you say? Everyone looked over. Liu Yifei blinked and laughed dryly. I was just talking casually. If I'm wrong, just pretend you didn't hear it. I just think that there are many planets suitable for planting near Yemen Star. Why did Hu Zhi go far away and make the planting base so mysterious? That's it. It seems that Hu Zhi is indeed very suspicious, Wen Zixi said excitedly. I didn't expect that idiot can be so sharp. Liu Yifei was depressed after being praised. Where am I stupid? However, no one paid attention to him anymore. They all went to study Hu Zhi's information and life in depth. Soon, a message and several short videos arrived from the Satellite Monitoring Center. Zhao Cheng opened them and reviewed them, reporting to Yi Hongwen. There have been quite a few spaceships out in the past few days. The most suspicious is the Guan family's medium-sized warship. It's said to be a group outing for the young masters and young ladies, but they returned the same way within a day. Boss, Luo Cheng asked, are we going to the Guan family to look for them? Yi Hongwen said calmly, No, pass our speculation and information to Lin Yin and have him come forward. That won't work. We worked so hard to find out, and all the credit is going to go to Pao. Liu Yifei was not happy. Deputy Captain Lei is an upright man, Yi Hongwen said confidently. Having him come forward will make things easier to resolve, and our contributions won't be erased. But, Liu Yifei was about to say something, but was interrupted by Yi Hongwen. Yi Hongwen said, "It's already been decided. Instead of wasting time here, why not go out and check on those new recruits?" Liu Yifei was stunned. Why would he look at those new recruits? Hadn't they already been assigned to positions? Following the boss's gaze, I glanced at the surveillance camera, only to find his face darkening. He'd already reminded them to cooperate with their companions during battle, so what was going on with that group of idiots, now outnumbered and surrounded by strange beasts? This is the second chapter of the extra chapter, and I'm still unnamed to thank everyone who gave me tips and voted for the monthly ticket. If you are listening to this novel on a channel other than Fanfic World, it means it was downloaded and re-uploaded without effort. We warmly invite you to visit our channel, Fanfic World. There you will find the original version of this story and many other novels of various genres. We look forward to seeing you dive into a world of incredible novels. Chapter 210 Difficult Negotiations. The camera flashes back to when Liu Yifei had just left. The new recruits were obediently coordinating the moves of the veterans, and the results were impressive. Taking on a level 3 monster was like cutting vegetables. Mom won't have to worry about me getting eaten by monsters anymore, the new recruits thought. However, coordinating with others always limited their own freedom. After a while, the new recruits began to envy the veterans fighting alone, seeing how impressive they were. As a result, the new recruits scattered and were gradually surrounded by the monsters. Surrounded by 3 monsters, the new recruits could still hold on, but surrounded by 7 or 8, they could only cry for help on the chat. After Liu Yifei and a group of veterans rescued the newbies, he called them back to the team channel and gave them a scolding. Still not satisfied, Liu Yifei asked quietly, "Do you know how that idiot died?" The new recruits were puzzled. They didn't understand what he meant. "No one knows," Liu Yifei asked again. Finally, someone weakly replied, "Old age?" "Wrong," Liu Yifei snorted. "Idiots, just like you, died of stupidity." The recruits burst into tears. So Brother Liu had gone through such a long detour just to imply they were idiots. Scolded and savaged, their memories of the perilous situation surrounded by the monsters still fresh, the recruits finally calmed down, no longer yearning for their own heroic solo battles. The battle raged until 5 in the morning, when the sky was already turning pale. Lin Yin appeared, holding a cute little white fox. Surprisingly, he wasn't operating his mecha, yet he wasn't attacked by the monsters. Not long after, the 3-headed bird reappeared, and the monsters roared and cried, halting their attacks. "It seems this little white fox is what the alien beasts are looking for," Liu Yifei said on the main channel. "I just don't know what's so special about this fox that the alien beasts have mobilized such a large, interplanetary search. I guess we should stop searching for it," Wen Zixi said with a smile. "Even though the alien beasts have stopped, there's still trouble ahead. Poor communication is a serious problem. Did you see the level 7 alien beast fluttering its wings in circles in the sky? Its black, glassy eyes reddening a bit?" Watching the 3-headed bird circling in the sky, Lin Yin, holding the little white fox, felt frustrated. He was experienced in negotiating with people, but this was a newbie with alien beasts, especially with this unruly little fox in his arms, constantly trying to break free and run towards the alien beasts. "Second Captain, are we really going to negotiate with the alien beasts?" Pan Qiang, captain of the mist-breaking squadron, disagreed. Negotiating with pirates could be considered a form of appeasement, but what about negotiating with alien beasts? If word got out, the other fleets would laugh at him. It would be better to call for help and wipe out these alien beasts directly. Lin Yin sighed. He hadn't wanted to negotiate with the alien beasts, but he'd initially overlooked their use of small warships, resulting in a staggering number of them and making their extermination a significant challenge. As for reinforcements, the Shenyu fleet had already been dispatched, and no other fleets were possible. After all, Shaoyin Star was the primary target of protection. The fleet's men had fought all day. Their mental energy severely depleted. Some had even been confined to the infirmary, drained of their energy. If the fighting continued, more would likely end up in the hospital. Was sacrificing so many men for a little white fox really necessary? Calling for help won't work. Let's try to get these alien beasts to leave on their own, Lei Zhenai resolved. Old Pan, get me a loudspeaker aboard. I need to talk to the three-headed bird. Pan Kaiang was embarrassed. How could interspecies communication work without a common language? But the deputy captain had said so he had no choice but to obey. The independent loudspeaker wasn't used much these days. It was over 10 minutes before Pan Kaiang returned after finding it. The three-headed bird looked impatient, its eyes fixed on Lei Zhenai, as if ready to pounce and rob him at any moment. Lei Zhenai, feeling both amused and helpless, quickly turned on the loudspeaker and shouted, "Three-headed bird, I'm Lei Zhenai, Vice Captain of the Federation Central Core Mist-Breaking Fleet. I need to speak with you." The three-headed bird quieted down and stopped circling. Instead, it found an open area several kilometers away and landed. Once it settled, it chirped clearly at Lei Zhenai, as if urging him to continue. As the three-headed bird landed, the several level 5 mecha pilots guarding Lei Zhenai swung into commotion, only to regain their composure once they realized the three-headed bird had no intention of attacking. Lei Zhenai, however, remained impassive throughout. Before the negotiation, Lei Zhenai stated bluntly, "I know you can understand what I'm saying, but I can't understand your answers. So, I'll ask you to cooperate. If the answer to my question is yes, you'll call out once. If the answer is no, you'll call out twice. If you agree, just nod." Lei Zhenai stared at the three-headed bird nervously, only breathing a sigh of relief when the bird nodded in agreement. "So, my first question is this little white fox the reason you came to Sanda Planet?" The middle head of the bird chirped loudly, a bit excited, its gaze shimmering with both nervousness and joy as it gazed at the little white fox. Lei Zhenai regained some of his usual negotiation spirit, a faint smile crossing his serious face. He continued, "If the little white fox is returned to you, will you withdraw from Sanda Planet?" The three-headed bird chirped, then a thought struck it. Its three heads shifted strangely, looking at the numerous exotic beasts with a somewhat embarrassed chirp. "Are they going to retreat or not?" Pan Kaiang asked, his voice growing restless. He still felt that negotiating with alien beasts was unreliable. Lei Zhenai was also confused. He pondered for a long time, still unsure of what the three-headed bird meant. Just then, his communicator beeped. He clicked on it and saw it was from Yi Hongwen, captain of the Shenyu. The message was short. The other warship the alien beasts were using to transport their companions had been sunk yesterday. Lei Zhenai then remembered that the alien beasts had piloted their own warships. The first one had been seized, but the two octopuses who piloted it were dead. Even if they returned the warship, who knew how to pilot it? Another important point, if the warship was returned to the alien beasts, wouldn't they be able to come to Sanda Planet whenever they wanted? Would that put the residents there in great danger? But if they didn't return it, they couldn't send anyone to escort the alien beasts back because they couldn't guarantee the pilot's safety. Although he was only the deputy captain, he wouldn't gamble with the lives of his own crew members. Lei Zhenai was torn. Could negotiation still be a dead end? He felt he needed to consult with someone, but the captain wasn't there, and the accompanying team leader clearly couldn't offer any good advice. After pondering for a long time, Lei Zhenai dialed Yi Hongwen's video call. At this point, Captain Yi might be the only one who could offer him advice. Chapter 211, Evacuation of Strange Beasts. In the Shenyu's cockpit, Yi Hongwen and the others were watching the negotiations unfold on a screen. Liu Yifei couldn't help but praise, Po Yu's deputy captain truly possesses the demeanor of a great general. Our deputy captain wouldn't have the courage. After the war between the alien beasts ceased, Liu Yifei led the rookies back to the Shenyu and headed straight for the cockpit, not wanting to miss this rare negotiation between humans and alien beasts. Don't bring Liu Qianchen up. That old fellow is incredibly shrewd. He disagreed with the boss's suggestion but didn't dare to object, so he ran away with the excuse of a family matter, fearing that any incident with the fleet would implicate him, Luo Cheng said disdainfully. Liu Yifei curled his lips. That old fellow just needs a lesson. After this mission, I'm afraid he'll be rushing back home again. Not necessarily, Wen Zixi said mysteriously. I heard something happened to him a while ago and he's retiring. Something? Liu Yifei asked excitedly. Mosquito, do you know what happened? Why would he be willing to resign? Wen Zixi said smugly. That old fellow used family matters to avoid going home, but when he got home, He had nothing to do and didn't want to face his tigress all day, so he spent all day on the Star Network. He ended up finding a lover there, and they even met in real life. In the end, his tigress found out and made a scene at the military headquarters. He asked for personal leave, but ended up going home for vacation and finding a lover. Most importantly, the matter became a big deal, and the military leaders couldn't sit still anymore. They immediately intervened to persuade Liu Qianjun to resign. He had made up an excuse to ask for leave because he didn't have enough rest time. After resigning, he would have more time to rest. Great. Finally, we don't have to see that awful face of his, Liu Yifei cheered. Quiet, Yi Hongwen said helplessly, looking at the overly excited others. Deputy Captain Lei has sent a video call. If Lei's Henyu saw the gossiping faces of the Shenyu team leaders, Shenyu's already tarnished reputation would be ruined. Is the negotiation over? Liu Yifei glanced at the screen in surprise. Seeing that it wasn't over, he felt puzzled. Why would he go to the boss if it wasn't over? Although puzzled, Liu Yifei and the others kept quiet. After Liu Yifei and the others fell silent, Yi Hongwen connected the video call, and Lei's Henyu's avatar appeared before them. Yi Hongwen asked first, Deputy Captain Lei, is there anything I can do? Lei's Henyu nodded awkwardly. I have some questions I'd like Captain Yi's advice on. Lei's Henyu then expressed his dilemma and concerns. Since he had already decided to seek help, he might as well be straightforward. Being hesitant would be even more inappropriate. After patiently listening to Lei's Henyu's questions, Yi Hongwen already had an idea, but he didn't intend to express it directly. Instead, he asked, Captain Lei, you should know when they acquired those 2 warships, right? Lei's Henyu nodded. It's written in the information you sent over, Yi Hongwen continued. They've had warships for a long time but haven't used them. This means they won't attack humans from another planet unless absolutely necessary. Moreover, any starship landing on our planet requires registration and inspection, so it's impossible for them to come in quietly, especially after we've taken precautions. The alien beast's successful landing this time was a stroke of luck. The flying alien beast's attacks caused Sanda Planet to activate its protective shield. The flying alien beasts attacked the shield from different locations, distracting people from the true killer move. When the shield was breached, people looked for the cause, but only saw the group of alien beasts who had successfully landed. So, in fact, there's no problem returning the warships to them, Lei's Henyu said thoughtfully. Yi Hongwen's expression lifted slightly. The biggest problem is whether they have any other alien beasts capable of piloting warships. Lei's Henyu's frown softened as he laughed heartily. That's right. It seems we can only hope the alien beasts have backup pilots. The negotiations were still ongoing, but Lei's Henyu, having received the answer he sought, was about to end the call. But before he did, he couldn't help but say, some people are skeptical of Shenyu's efforts over the past 2 years, but I believe that with Captain Yi here, Shenyu's rise is foreseeable. Yi Hongwen smiled faintly. Thank you for your kind words. I also believe Shenyu can rise in the near future. After the call ended, Lei's Henyu returned to the negotiations. Yi Hongwen paid no attention. The outcome of the negotiations was already determined. As long as the 3-headed bird was indeed targeting the little white fox, it would agree to evacuate the alien beasts from Sanda Planet. Sure enough, half an hour later, the 3-headed bird agreed to evacuate the alien beasts. Lei's Henyu sent someone to bring the repaired light blue small warship over and returned it to the alien beast. After the pilots of the mist-breaking fleet disembarked from the small warship, the 3-headed bird entered. A few minutes later, it emerged, flew to the ship's entrance, and cried a few times. Then, 2 giant dark brown spiders climbed aboard. Those 2 spiders are their backup pilots, right? Liu Yifei said, glaring at Zhao Cheng with a malicious look. Look how much less labor the alien beasts save. 2 spiders can pilot an entire warship, Zhao Cheng calmly replied. Perhaps they'll be able to pilot the mecha longer than Captain Liu. After all, you pilot with your mind, while they can control it manually. Liu Yifei was speechless and could only stare blankly at Zhao Cheng. The alien beasts were so numerous that the small warship had to make 3 round trips to transport most of them. By the final trip, all the alien beasts except the 3-headed bird were aboard. Lei's Henyu finally let go of the little white fox. The little white fox froze for a moment, tentatively running a few hundred meters toward the 3-headed bird, but then stopped and glanced back at Lei's Henyu. Only after the 3-headed bird cried anxiously did it resume its run. As the little white fox approached, The three-headed bird swooped down, eagerly carrying the little white fox aboard. The ship's doors instantly closed, and the light blue warship took off again, disappearing into the depths of the Sunda star in the blink of an eye. The alien beasts withdrew, and Yi Hongwen ordered a head count before returning to the ship. Some of the team members, eager to watch the action, hadn't immediately returned to the ship at the truce time, under the pretext of preventing the alien beasts from staging a false truce. After the head count was complete and all the team members were aboard, Yi Hongwen politely informed Lei Zhenai of his return, and the Shenyu embarked on its journey back to base. Finally, I'm going back, Liu Yifei sighed with emotion. I didn't sleep well last night, and I have dark circles under my eyes. It's all because of those damn monsters. How can you blame them for this? Luo Chang laughed at him unkindly. Your dark circles have never disappeared, okay? It's because you have such a rich nightlife, Zhao Cheng added dimly. Young people should be more restrained. Don't take advantage of your young age to take things lightly. You will know you were wrong when you are old. What nonsense are you talking about? Liu Yifei blushed. I haven't even found a girlfriend, so how can I have a nightlife? Who says you can't have a nightlife if you don't have a girlfriend? Wu Zin said stupidly. It's the same if you have a boyfriend. It's normal for men to have sex now. Except for having to apply for in vitro fertilization for the child, there is no difference between them and heterosexual couples. We have several couples in our fleet. Liu Yifei was speechless. Who led Wu Zin astray so that she could even say such words? Chapter 212 The Evil Ones Complain First. As the Shenyu and the number 1 warship sailed down the channel back to their base, Lin Miaomiao dozed off listening to her father express his anger. I don't know how he has the nerve to question me, Lin Yuhei grumbled, pacing his spot. His daughter was a well-behaved person, the last to bully. So your teammate, Sheng Ruonan, must be really bad? Lin Miaomiao covered her mouth with her right hand and yawned, then casually replied, yeah, she's really bad. So bad she has boils on her head. Why not her face? Lin Yuhei said with a hint of regret. Lin Miaomiao was speechless. She had only been saying it casually, but her father had taken it seriously. She could only laugh dryly and changed the subject. Did Councilman Sheng tell me how he wanted Dad to punish me? Lin Yuhei snorted. He wanted you to retire from the fleet, but I refused. Will this cause any trouble for Dad and the family? Lin Miaomiao asked. Although she had great confidence in her family, she couldn't help but worry. How is that possible? Lin Yuhei looked at her disapprovingly. You have to trust Dad. The Sheng family may have some influence, but our Lin family is not far behind, just a small council member, yet he dared to tell his daughter what to do. Lin Yuhei was not going to comply. After refusing, he informed his second brother, Lin Yuhu, of the matter and asked him to go and have afternoon tea with the head of the Sheng family. The Lin family didn't settle on Shaoyin Star, but they still had a certain amount of influence there. If the Sheng family really wanted to make things difficult for them, the Lin family would not be afraid. Lin Miaomiao said with a dull face, it's not that I don't have confidence in Dad, but I care about my family. Lin Yuhei was touched. As expected, my daughter is thoughtful. Your eldest brother has never said a single kind word. Although he was touched, Lin Yuhei still asked about the grudge between his daughter and Sheng Ruonan. Even though he trusted his daughter, he still needed to understand the whole story so that he could seize the initiative in the dialogue with the Sheng family. Lin Miaomiao understood this perfectly, and obediently spilled the beans about her conflict with Sheng Ruonan. Of course, she wouldn't tell her father the real reason for their feud, simply stating that Sheng Ruonan was jealous of geniuses and disliked her. That person is so bizarre. There are so many geniuses out there, how could she possibly hate them all? Lin Yuhei chuckled. Someone like her will never become a top-tier mecha pilot. Why? Lin Miaomiao was curious. Jealousy meant she couldn't become a great mecha pilot. There was something a little off about that logic. Why? Lin Yuhei explained logically. Jealousy indicates a lack of ability and confidence in herself. This perpetuates a fear within her, making her prone to retreat when faced with challenges. Lin Miaomiao mused. In other words, without a strong mental foundation, success is impossible. Lin Yuhei nodded with satisfaction. Becoming a top-tier mecha pilot depended not only on aptitude but also on mental resilience and perseverance. It could be said that a mecha pilot with a strong will, a positive mindset, and sufficient effort, regardless of their qualifications, has a 50% chance of becoming a senior mecha pilot. This is probably the saying that hard work can make up for shortcomings. After hanging up the video call, Lin Miaomiao realized it was almost 8 o'clock. With no time to go to the cafeteria for breakfast, she grabbed a few mung bean cakes from her space button and ate them while rushing to the physical training area. As she crossed the 9-curve bridge and reached the waiting area, she unconsciously looked up and saw the Shenyu had landed and the crews heading to the Sanda planet were disembarking. Should she wait for them to come out and ask about the mission? Lin Miaomiao hesitated for a moment, then turned proudly and headed back to the physical training area. They weren't even taking her on a mission, so why would they worry about whether the mission was completed? She could spend that time training better. Although she had decided not to ask, she still kept thinking about it. After all, alien beasts attacking planets were rare, so during her training, Lin Miaomiao seemed a little absent-minded. Noticing something was amiss with her friend, Liu Kaoyer slowed the treadmill and asked, concerned, Miaomiao, are you feeling unwell today? Lin Miaomiao shook her head, about to say nothing, when she felt two malicious gazes fixed on her. Following the feeling, she met Sheng Ruinen's face, a mixture of smugness and resentment. She immediately felt unhappy. Lin Miaomiao was upset because she hadn't been able to go on the mission with the others, so she didn't immediately complain to her parents. How could she be happy when someone got there first? So she deliberately raised her voice and said, I just think some people are so shameless. They've done so many bad things, and yet they have the nerve to complain to the parents, trying to confuse right and wrong. They're so stupid. Liu Kaoyer was stunned for a moment, still a little confused. Miaomiao, who are you talking about? Sheng Ruinen? What did she do? Feng Licken saw this and interrupted, you idiot, you know it's her without me saying it. Apart from her, who else is as shameless as her? I don't know what she complained to the parents about, who cares what she complained about? Liu Kaoyer was furious. She jumped off the treadmill, rolled up her sleeves and ran straight towards Sheng Ruinen. People like that deserve a beating. Kaoyer, wait for me. I'll go with you. Zhang Xingyan hurriedly turned off the treadmill. He was running it at full speed, but he didn't dare jump off like Liu Kaoyer. You know, she had slowed it down before she spoke. Kaoyer, come back. It's useless for her to complain. It's not me who did anything wrong. My dad won't buy Counselor Sheng's story, Lin Miaomiao shouted to stop her. Since they met, Kaoyer's temper has always been so impatient, but this kind of Kaoyer makes people feel very warm. Feng Licken also laughed and said, Kaoyer, you are impulsive again. If she complains, she will be the only one who suffers. Considering that she is going to be in trouble, just forgive her. That's true. Liu Kaoyer slammed on the brakes when she heard that, turned around and ran back to her friend and continued her exercise as if nothing had happened, as if it wasn't her who wanted to hit someone just now. Zhang Xingyan, who was following behind, was confused. Why don't you fight anymore? What are you fighting for? Liu Kaoyer said a little unhappily. Do you still want to hide a woman? Yu Zixin interrupted with a serious face. Evil people like that are no longer in the category of women, so it's useless to hit them. But have you forgotten that you can't fight in the base? You actually have the nerve to say that? Liu Kaoyer widened her eyes. Why didn't you remind me just now? Didn't you forget just now? Yu Zixin touched his head and smiled foolishly. Bah! Liu Kaoyer turned her head away. Just pretend. Sheng Ruinen, who was exercising alone in a corner, froze. She didn't understand where Lin Miaomiao's confidence came from. After all, her father had promised to avenge her. Sheng Ruinen dared to complain only because her father cared about his reputation. Even if he didn't dote on her, he wouldn't want her to be inferior to him, and he would definitely stand up for her. But she suddenly had a bad feeling. Even if her father stood up for her, it might not embarrass Lin Miaomiao. Thinking of her father's scolding and the generosity of Lin Miaomiao's father, who spent a fortune on his daughter, Sheng Ruinen's heart gradually sank to the bottom. Chapter 213 Childish Revenge. After 2 hours of physical training, Lin Miaomiao still took her friends to the Changguang gravity area for training. Sheng Ruinen hesitated for a while, but still followed with confidence. She was also from Shanyu. Since it was said that the area would be open to Shanyu's team members for free for 1 hour every day, why shouldn't she go? Lin Miaomiao didn't know all this. After arriving at Changguang, she wanted to go in for training directly, but Liu Kaoyer grabbed her and forced her to stay behind. After everyone else went up, only Lin Miaomiao, Liu Kaoyer and Feng Licken were left in front of the elevator. Kaoyer, is there anything wrong? Lin Miaomiao asked puzzledly. Liu Kaoyer didn't say anything, but just pressed the communicator for a long time, and then sent a photo to Lin Miaomiao. Lin Miaomiao opened it and saw a full-body photo of Sheng Ruinan. The photo was just taken, with the fleet's physical training area as the background. There were a few words written in the blank space of the photo: Sheng Ruinan and strange beasts are not allowed to enter. Isn't this a bit childish? Besides, she doesn't seem to have followed us. Lin Miaomiao tried hard to suppress the urge to laugh. How could this trick still be popular in the interstellar age? The thought of putting Sheng Ruinan and the alien beast side by side made her feel happy. She didn't know what Sheng Ruinan's expression would be when she saw it. Stop talking nonsense, and get someone to print out the photos, Liu Kaoyu urged. That person is so shameless, she definitely would not come. She just wanted to avoid you and come in later. Just before getting on the flying car, Liu Kaoyu saw Sheng Ruinan standing in the shadow of the girls' dormitory. After the flying car started, she slowly walked towards the polygonal door. You're right, she is really shameless. I've scolded her many times, but she still has to come here to be scolded. Lin Miaomiao sent a text message and photos to the person in charge, asking him to print the photos immediately and place them at the door. Print out a few more copies of the photo, Feng Liken reminded. She doesn't have a membership card here. If she's refused entry, she'll definitely apply for one and then openly cause trouble. Got it, Lin Miaomiao added in a quick text. After the Changguang Mecha Club opened, Kaoyu returned to Milulan. Changguang was now run by Wei Junayan, the man Lin Miaomiao had previously assumed was just the manager of the Mecha supermarket. Wei Junayan's efficiency was astonishing. Within minutes, a life-sized photo was displayed outside the entrance. Lin Miaomiao was pleased, and the three of them headed for the elevator. Shouldn't we wait for her? Liu Kaoyu kept looking back as she entered the elevator. She still wanted to watch the show. Feng Liken smiled gently. Miaomiao won't come upstairs. There's surveillance here anyway. If you really want to see it, ask Miaomiao to check it out for you. Hey, so what you're saying implies she's already here. Where is she? Liu Kaoyu pressed the elevator stop button, hoping to go out and look for her, but was stopped by Lin Miaomiao. Lin Miaomiao said with a blank face, don't affect the training time for those who don't want to do it. Have you forgotten that we are not even qualified to go on a mission now? Liu Kaoyu pouted when she heard it. The boss is too bullying. If he wants to take us, why not take them all? Why did he leave us behind? Isn't he deliberately saying that we are inferior to others? Maybe it will be a rotation. Feng Liken felt uncomfortable. Maybe it will be our turn next time. Come on, all the people who are on the mission this time are level 4 Mecha Masters. He just thinks we are too weak, Liu Kaoyu said indignantly. If we want to go on a mission, we may have to become level 4 Mecha Masters first. That's possible. I'm also level 4, but I was not selected. Lin Miaomiao snorted unhappily. I want to see if I can get a share in the next mission. If it's still like this, I will never let him go. After leaving a harsh remark, the elevator arrived at the 16 times gravity room. Lin Miaomiao got out of the elevator aggressively and rushed inside. She must conquer 16 times gravity today. As soon as she stepped into the gravity chamber, Lin Miaomiao's body felt heavy, and the invisible pressure pushed her downwards. In order to avoid being crushed to the ground, she had to stop her momentum and slowly move forward. Liu Kaoyu and Feng Liken were in a similar situation. They couldn't move forward quickly and could only move forward in slow motion. Sometimes it took them half a day to take a single step. Half an hour later, Lin Miaomiao finally moved to the middle of the gravity chamber and gradually passed her teammates who had entered earlier than them. Most of these people were already pressed to the ground and gasping for breath, and only a few were still trying to move forward. Miaomiao, aren't you going to take a break? Liu Kaoyu asked reluctantly, her voice a little distorted by the special place of the gravity chamber. Lin Miaomiao, sweating profusely, didn't want to rest, but she was afraid that if she relaxed, she would lose her strength. Frowning, she said slowly, restating here won't do much good. We might as well just march out, but I can't walk anymore. Liu Kaoyu looked at her eagerly. I don't think we can reach the next floor today. It's better to sit here a little longer and get used to the 16 times greater pressure. Maybe it'll be easier tomorrow. Lin Miaomiao looked around and saw that everyone else had the same idea as her. Even those who had been moving forward had stopped. Some were sitting, some were squatting, determined to get used to the situation. Although Lin Miaomiao had originally said she would provide everyone with 1 hour of free time each day, everyone here, financially able, had signed up for annual passes. As long as their pass lasted, they could stay as long as they wanted. As for those team members who were short of money and didn't have a card, they thought about leaving on time, but were stopped by Lin Miaomiao. After all, it was normal to extend the training by half an hour or an hour. As long as they were not the ones who took advantage of her, she didn't mind helping out. After sitting there for a while, Lin Miaomiao felt a little bored. She felt that when she had nothing to do, she could more clearly feel the invisible pressure in the air, making her want to break free. She glanced at her friends and found that they were in a similar situation. Feng Liqin was standing like her, Liu Kaoyer and Yu Zixin were sitting on the ground, and Zhuang Xingyan was even lying on his back. Lin Miaomiao thought about it and thought that maybe it would be better to divert her attention, so she took out a few decks of playing cards from the space button. "Let's play cards," Lin Miaomiao said with a wooden face. Liu Kaoyer looked at her in disbelief. "Stop it. Who can concentrate on playing cards at this time? Let's play something simple," Lin Miaomiao persuaded without giving up. "You don't have to concentrate on thinking about how to play the cards." Yu Zixin never liked playing cards, thinking it was too brain-intensive. When he heard that there was an easy way to play, he became interested. What to play? It really doesn't require any brain power. "Let's play, Draw the Turtle," Lin Miaomiao said seriously. Everyone who heard it was confused. What did Draw the Turtle mean? Did it mean that the card had a turtle in the pattern, and whoever drew it would win? Facing many pairs of hungry eyes seeking knowledge, Lin Miaomiao was very proud. Many interesting ways to play playing cards had been lost in the vast years. Only she, a time traveler, still remembered them. Chapter 214 Who is the Turtle? There's no limit on the number of players in the game. More players can choose more decks, while fewer players can choose fewer. The rules are simple. After shuffling the cards, draw a card and set it aside. Then, divide the cards into 5 piles of equal thickness, based on the number of players. For example, if there are 5 of them, the cards would be divided into 5 piles, each of equal thickness. After the cards are divided, everyone chooses a pile. Unlike Doubt is Who, Landlord, players must play cards. Instead, they place their cards in pairs until everyone has single cards. Then, they draw a card from each other's hands in order. For example, player B draws from player A, player C draws from player B, and so on. If the card they draw matches their hand, they take it. If not, they reverse the order and let the next player draw. Whoever has their hand set aside in pairs can take a break and watch others draw. The last player to draw is the turtle. Okay, the rules are explained. Who wants to play now? Lin Miaomiao asked. Liu Kaoyer has always had bad luck and has never won a lottery. This turtle game sounded similar to a lottery, so she wanted to not participate. "It's too easy," Liu Kaoyer rolled her eyes and said in a pretentious manner. "Such a childish game doesn't seem to suit my taste. Don't give me that." "I've never seen you win at Landlord," Feng Liqin said bluntly. "I think this game is quite suitable for you, Kaoyer. I think it's not that this game is not suitable for you, but that you have always had bad luck. You are afraid that you will be the turtle in the end." Yu Zixin laughed. Although it was true that she had bad luck, Liu Kaoyer was still angry. She ignored the 16 times gravity and jumped up from the ground. "Nonsense. How can my luck be bad? If it's okay, then you can play together and see who is the turtle in the end," Yu Zixin said coldly. Liu Kaoyer glared at him fiercely. "Let's play, Who's Afraid of Who?" Li Jiaqi moved over and smiled at Lin Miaomiao. "Take me with you, I've always had good luck." "Okay," Lin Miaomiao said, unconcerned. She had plenty of cards prepared anyway. In the end, 5 people still participated. Zhuang Xingyan lay on the ground, unwilling to get up. The 5 participants sat in a circle on the ground. Lin Miaomiao took 4 decks of cards and struggled to shuffle them. Her hand was full of small cards, and the strong gravity made even a simple shuffle difficult. After shuffling, Lin Miaomiao was about to draw a card and hide it when Liu Kaoyer yelled, "Let me do it." The girl was still worried about her bad luck, thinking that if she drew the bottom card, she might not get a card that matched it. Lin Miaomiao didn't care. It didn't matter who drew the cards. She handed the cards to Liu Kaoyer and asked her to draw a card at random. After drawing her bottom cards, Lin Miaomiao carefully divided the cards into 5 equal height pieces and placed them on the ground. She then let Liu Kaoyer and the other 3 choose cards. After they chose, the remaining piece would be hers. With the cards in hand, Lin Miaomiao was about to draw a pair when Liu Kaoyu objected again. I think yours looks better, Miaomiao. How about we switch? Liu Kaoyu blinked her eyes and looked at her expectantly. Lin Miaomiao was speechless. Actually, they're all about the same. That being said, Lin Miaomiao softened her heart and exchanged cards with her because of Liu Kaoyu's insistence. This delay allowed everyone else to put down their pairs, and Lin Miaomiao hurriedly sorted out her own cards. When everyone was ready, Yu Zixin asked, "Okay, now everyone has single cards in their hands, right? Who's going to draw first?" "Whatever," Lin Miaomiao said. "Then I'll draw first," Liu Kaoyu said quickly. The order of drawing cards was clockwise, starting with the previous hand. Liu Kaoyu's previous hand was Feng Liken, so she unceremoniously drew a card from her hand. Afterward, she exclaimed in surprise, "It's a 3 of hearts, and I just happen to have a 3 of clubs." With a bang, Liu Kaoyu tossed a pair of 3s with great force. Yu Zixin, sitting next to Liu Kaoyu, immediately reached out for her cards, and he also threw out a pair. After one round, no one had finished their hands, so the next round of drawing continued. Li Jiaqi was the first to finish. Her luck was as good as she'd promised, every card she drew matched her hand. Lin Miaomiao was the second to finish, and to everyone's surprise, the third was Liu Kaoyu, who had never won a prize before. Finally, only Feng Liken and Yu Zixin were left. Yu Zixin had only one card, while Feng Liken still had 2. Liu Kaoyu asked nervously, "Miaomiao, who do you think will be the tortoise?" "I don't know," Lin Miaomiao couldn't guess. If Liken had drawn first, the outcome would have been decided. Unfortunately, this time it was Zixin who drew first. While everyone else was worried, Yu Zixin was intently studying the patterns on the backs of Feng Liken's 2 cards. He couldn't make up his mind which card to draw. He tried moving his hand over the left card, pretending to draw that one, hoping to gauge Feng Liken's reaction. Unfortunately, she kept a faint smile on her face. What bad luck. Why did he end up in a showdown with Liken? Yu Zixin sighed. If he had confronted that haughty Kaoyu, he would probably have easily found the card he wanted. Hurry up and draw. Don't waste time, Liu Kaoyu urged. It's already 11:30. Do you want to go back for dinner? What a rush. You won't starve if you skip a meal, Yu Zixin muttered unhappily. Liu Kaoyu rolled her eyes at him. Are you a man or not? You're so hesitant, even worse than us women. Why do you care so much about whether I'm a man or not? It has nothing to do with you, okay? Yu Zixin glanced at her. If you want a man, go find one yourself. Yu Zixin, do you deserve a beating? Liu Kaoyu's face flushed with anger, and she waved her fist at Yu Zixin. I really want to beat you up right now. That requires you to win, Yu Zixin said coldly, his face full of provocation. Alright, Lin Miaomiao didn't seem to be in a good mood, so she stepped in to stop the quarrel between the two. Zixin, you'd better beat him up quickly. If you stay any longer, everyone will have to crawl out soon. Even if there was a way to divert attention, the pressure she had to bear was still borne to the letter. If she didn't want to know the result, Lin Miaomiao would have moved out long ago. After all, they had been here for more than an hour. Feng Liken also laughed and said, Zixin, if you don't dare to draw, then don't draw. Just admit defeat. Yu Zixin was furious when he heard that. Who said I don't dare to draw? I'll draw now. After saying that, Yu Zixin really acted on impulse, but he drew the card on the right. As soon as he got the card, Yu Zixin was stunned. The card was not a pair with the one in his hand, which meant that it was Feng Liken's turn to draw next. After putting the cards behind his back and changing their position several times, Yu Zixin tremblingly stretched them out in front of Feng Liken. When she wanted to draw, he shouted, wait. Unfortunately, he shouted too late. Feng Liken had already drawn a card. She only heard her smile and said, I win. The big turtle Yu Zixin burst into tears. Why was his luck so bad today? Chapter 215, Playing Off. After just one round of turtle, everyone lost track of time. In the end, they finally managed to crawl out of the 16 times gravity chamber. Luckily, the Mecha Club wasn't well known at the time, so few people came to exercise during the day, and no one noticed their predicament. After struggling to climb out, Lin Miaomiao felt lighter, finally finding some strength to stand. She told Liu Kaoyu and the others to hurry back to the base. They were already in their 20s and 40s, and if they didn't go back soon, they'd really have to take supplements. Unlike Lin Miaomiao, who refused to take supplements unless she had a meal, Li Jiaqi was more sensible. She was so exhausted she didn't even bother to go back. She found a chair in the rest area outside, sprawled on it, took out a strawberry-flavored supplement, and began to smoke. Li Jiaqi slurred as she puffed, "Miaomiao, do you still have the energy to walk back? Anyway, we can take a flying car once we get out." "I'll just rest a bit," Lin Miaomiao said with a deadpan expression. If she'd known playing cards in there would lead to such consequences, she'd never have encouraged anyone to play along. Who knew just one game would take so long? The initial explanation took over 10 minutes, and Kair and Zixin's sluggishness also delayed the game quite a bit. She'd never do anything like this again, harming others and benefiting herself. Staggering to the elevator door, Lin Miaomiao realized only Fenlikin had followed her. Everyone else was slumped over on chairs in the lounge area, unwilling to move. "Kair, Zixin, and Zingayan, you're not going to eat?" Lin Miaomiao was surprised. "Not yet," Zixin flatly refused. "I need a supplement, I can't," Zhang Zingayan cried out. "I don't have any strength left. I can't even get the supplement from the space button." Zhang Zingayan had collapsed long before they played. If he hadn't felt embarrassed to leave because everyone else hadn't left, he wouldn't have stayed in there for so long, over 2 hours. He almost couldn't get out. Thinking of how Lin Miaomiao had just helped pull him out, Zhang Zingayan's heart bleeds. It's so embarrassing to be weaker than his beloved. "Is that so?" Lin Miaomiao expressed her understanding, then continued to ask the silent Liu Kair. "So, Kair, are you taking the supplements too?" Liu Kair leaned against the wall by the gravity chamber door, gulping down a bottle of water. After finishing most of it in one gulp, she said, "I don't even have the strength to stand up. I guess I can't help taking the supplements even if I don't want to." Lin Miaomiao was speechless. These people are too weak. They become weaklings after staying in there for a while. If they were on the battlefield, they wouldn't be able to stay in the mecha for 4 or 5 hours. No wonder Yi Bingshan refused to take them on the mission. Well, she wasn't much better now. She felt like she was walking on cotton, almost floating. Since no one else could move, Lin Miaomiao took Fenlikin and left first. This wasn't a critical moment, so there was no need to follow everyone. What Lin Miaomiao didn't know was that after the elevator door closed, Liu Kair pouted and complained dissatisfiedly, "Miaomiao actually ran away with Likin and left me here alone. She is so disloyal, aren't I?" "And Zingayan still here?" Zixin comforted with a smile. He took out a high-grade original nutrient solution from the space button and asked, "Kair, do you want one?" Liu Kair pouted, "No, the original flavor is too disgusting." "Oh, then I won't give it to you." Zixin opened the bottle and poured it into his mouth. After drinking it, he smacked his lips and said, "Actually, it's not bad to drink nutrient solutions occasionally." Zhang Zingayan stared at him resentfully. "Why don't you ask me if I want to drink it? Do you just remember that Kair is your friend?" Zixin rolled his eyes at him. "You are a grown man and you still have the nerve to ask me for food." "That's because I can't move now." Zhang Zingayan couldn't help but roar. He was still slumped at the door of the gravity room and didn't even have the strength to climb onto a chair. If it weren't for this, who would even bother with a single nutrient supplement? Zhang Zingayan had several spare boxes in his own space button. "Serves you right. You're so exhausted, yet you're still forcing yourself. If you'd just gotten out earlier, you'd be fine," Zixin said, showing no sympathy. "I don't feel like moving right now, so I'm too lazy to run over to you to give you a nutrient supplement." Just then, the elevator doors suddenly opened again, and Zuchen and the little girl appeared before everyone. Seeing his teammates' strange appearances, even though Zuchen was mentally prepared, he couldn't help but laugh. How exhausted must they be? They can't even sit still. "Ashen, why are you here?" Zixin said, overjoyed. "When did you finish the mission?" Zuchen smiled. "You came back from training this morning. You were so exhausted, you went straight back to the dorm to rest." "What? Back this morning?" Zixin's expression suddenly changed. "You didn't even tell me you were back." Zixin felt a pang of discontent. He had been worried for so long, afraid that Ashen would get hurt from his first mission, unaccustomed to it, and not even bother to report his safety. Zuchen saw that something was wrong and that he was about to get angry, so he hurriedly coaxed, "Aren't you afraid of affecting your training? Look, I came to pick you up after receiving Miaomiao's video message. Humph, I forgive you for the first time. If it happens again, don't show up in front of me anymore," Zixin said arrogantly. "I'll do as you say," Zhu Chen agreed readily. Then I'll take you home. After saying that, without waiting for his answer, Zhu Chen picked up Yu Zixin and said, Lori, we're going back. Loli's electronic eyes flashed when she heard that. She walked over to Zhang Xingyan and squatted down. She took out a nutrient solution and poured it into his mouth rudely. Then she stood up and walked towards Liu Kaier, carefully carrying her in a princess hug. Xingyan, Zhu Chen said with an apologetic smile, there are too many people here, and Loli and I can't carry so many people back. You can just rest here for a while and go back when you have enough strength. Zhang Xingyan's face suddenly turned bitter. Miaomiao was too disloyal. She asked Loli to move Kaier, but couldn't she go upstairs and move him back at the same time? Fortunately, she still had a conscience. Knowing that she couldn't move, she let Loli feed a nutrient solution. As for Loli's overly rough movements when feeding the nutrient solution, Zhang Xingyan tearfully said that he didn't mind. After all, they were robots, so it was normal for them to be a little rough. Just like that, Zhu Chen held Yu Zixin, Loli held Liu Kaier, and they walked towards the elevator with a firm step. After entering the elevator, Yu Zixin suddenly laughed. Xingyan must be so depressed right now. Hey, Ashen, why don't you go upstairs again and take him with you? Everyone knows we get along well, I'm sure they won't mind. Zhu Chen raised an eyebrow. You want me to carry him down like this? Can't I just carry him? Yu Zixin muttered. If all else fails, there's Lolita. She won't get tired even if she runs one more time. Believe me, she won't be happy about that, Zhu Chen said meaningfully. It's not a good thing for a grown man to be carried like a princess by a Lolita in public. It will be ridiculed, even if everyone knows it's just a robot in Lolita's appearance. Chapter 216, Hitting People in the Face. After a timid return to the base, Lin Miaomiao and Feng Licken ate lunch in the kitchen before returning to their dormitories. At this point, Lin Miaomiao felt fortunate to be living in this high-tech interstellar age, where every building, no matter how high, had an elevator. Otherwise, returning to the fifth-floor dorm would have been a daunting task given their current situation. Lin Miaomiao collapsed on her bed, unwilling to move. She wanted to rest, but found herself unable to sleep. There were things she hadn't considered before, until she realized just now. The level 4 recruits who had been called up for the mission, like yesterday, were actually much stronger than she was. Take their gravity tolerance, those had already reached the 20-fold gravity chamber, while she was still stuck at 16. Even Licken was stronger than her. Was she complacent, or was her ambition too weak? The aura of a genius girl must have rubbed off on her. Lin Miaomiao smiled wryly. The praise had made her lose her bearings. After joining the fleet, she didn't study hard, but instead was constantly vying for attention. This couldn't go on. Lin Miaomiao secretly made up her mind. She couldn't let the story of Zhang Gaiyong's injury happen to her again. Having made up her mind, Lin Miaomiao closed her eyes and rested. Only after a good rest would she have the strength to continue training in the afternoon. After finishing the mecha battle training with everyone in the virtual network in the afternoon, Lin Miaomiao didn't go to the cafeteria for dinner. Instead, she went straight to Chengguang to enjoy the staff meal. The chef here is not a robot. After dinner, she rested for a while and went to the 16x gravity room. Just as she was about to enter, Liu Kaiyer's missing person video message came. Miaomiao, where the hell have you been? Why didn't you come to dinner? Liu Kaier said fiercely. Don't tell me you drank nutritional supplements tonight. I won't believe it, Lin Miaomiao said with a dull face. I didn't say I drank nutritional supplements. I was just tired of the cafeteria at the base. Can't I come to Chengguang for a change of taste? Okay, everyone knows that you paid a lot of money to hire the chef of Chengguang, Liu Kaier said sourly. Will you die if you don't say something sarcastic? Feng Licken, standing next to her, couldn't help but shake her head. Don't forget what we want to talk to Miaomiao about. What is it? Lin Miaomiao was genuinely curious. Normally, after dinner, they had free time to do whatever they wanted. They could go back to the dormitory if they wanted, or go out for a walk or a night out if they wanted. They didn't hang out in groups. But tonight, how did these two get together and even send her a video message? It was really unusual. Hearing this, Liu Kaier smiled and said, actually, it's nothing. I just want to ask you. Hey, Miaomiao, why do I feel that the place where you are standing looks familiar? She suddenly changed the subject halfway through the words, which made Lin Miaomiao feel very depressed, but she still answered honestly, I'm at the door of the 16 times gravity room. You want to do extra training? Liu Kaoyer shouted in disbelief. Don't you just train your mental strength for an hour at night? I've changed it. Starting today, Lin Miaomiao did not hide it. My load-bearing capacity is far different from Zhu Chen and the others. I don't look like a 4th level mecha master at all. Feng Licken smiled. You think the same as us? We also want to do extra training on our load-bearing capacity during the day. Really? Lin Miaomiao raised the corner of her mouth slightly, then come quickly. I'll be waiting inside. It's really a pleasant thing not to have to do extra training alone. Lin Miaomiao's steps, which were originally a little hesitant, became relaxed, and she strode into the gravity room. She didn't know if it was because she had stayed in there for 2 hours today, but she felt much more comfortable and didn't have to move forward at a snail's pace. After walking and stopping, she came to the center of the gravity room and stopped. If she continued, she could still walk to the other door before her physical strength was exhausted, but she didn't intend to do so. After standing quietly for a while, the voices of Liu Kaoyer and Feng Licken came over. Miaomiao, you're going too far. We asked you to join us for extra training, but you actually sneaked over here by yourself. Can we still be friends happily? Liu Kaoyer was still far away, but she was already accusing her friend of her evil deeds. Lin Miaomiao was secretly happy, but said seriously on her face, I have to regain my reputation as a genius girl. How can I make progress together with you? Liu Kaoyer instantly exploded. Lin Miaomiao, what are you talking about? You're going too far. You actually want to leave us behind. Didn't you hear what I said? Lin Miaomiao looked at her sympathetically. Kaoyer, don't you need to clean your ears? You? Liu Kaoyer was not happy. Do you want to fight? After saying that, she really rushed towards Lin Miaomiao. It seemed that she wanted to have a big fight. Feng Licken hurriedly stopped her. Talk nicely if you have something to say. Don't be impulsive, Feng Licken advised. Liu Kaoyer said angrily, don't stop me. Even if she's younger, I won't let her off today. Licken, you can't favor her anymore, you idiot. Feng Licken couldn't help but scold with a laugh. I'm not helping her. I'm just worried you'll get beaten into pulp. Kaoyer couldn't normally beat Miaomiao, and she was even more outmatched in the 16x gravity chamber. Did she talk without blushing or panting? It was obvious she was adapting well. Unfortunately, Liu Kaoyer wasn't the type to turn back until she hit the wall. She had to pounce on Lin Miaomiao, and after a flurry of punches and kicks, the result was disastrous. Liu Kaoyer still stopped after every step in the 16x gravity chamber. Her movements were nowhere near as smooth as Lin Miaomiao's, and in the end, she was practically being outmatched. After the duel, Liu Kaoyer lay on the ground, tears streaming down her face. They say you shouldn't hit someone in the face, but Miaomiao, why were you so ruthless? How am I supposed to face people tomorrow? Serves you right, Feng Licken said coldly. You know Miaomiao only hits people in the face, and you even asked for it. As for how she developed this bad habit, Lin Miaomiao probably traced it back to Yu Zixin's wrong example during the beating of Ji Kemi. After a blissful fight, Lin Miaomiao mercifully told Liu Kaoyer, I've decided to come here every night to train my weight-bearing and mental strength. Do you want to join us? No, Liu Kaoyer said proudly. I'm not that stupid to get slapped in the face for training with you. Lin Miaomiao raised an eyebrow. You were the one who asked for it. I didn't even initiate the attack. Liu Kaoyer was speechless. It seemed to be true. She was the one who started the fight, and she was the one who called for it to stop first. This was a huge loss of face. Since you've invited us so sincerely, we'll reluctantly agree, Liu Kaoyer said, putting on a generous face. Unfortunately, Feng Licken interrupted, saying, Kaoyer, if you don't want to, don't force yourself. Otherwise, you'll be in a bad mood and inefficient. I'll just exercise with Miaomiao. That's a good suggestion, Lin Miaomiao said with a slight smile. Licken, why don't we go to the 18x gravity room? I think you'll feel more comfortable standing here. Okay, Feng Licken said with a gentle smile. Since Kaoyer doesn't want to exercise together, we don't have to stay here with her. As they spoke, the two of them actually walked forward, as if they were going to continue exercising somewhere else. Liu Kaoyer got anxious, saying, No, you can't leave me behind. Lin Miaomiao and Feng Licken ignored her and continued walking. Liu Kaoyer gritted her teeth, stood up, and followed them. She didn't want to be left behind. At worst, She could just lie down at the door of the 18X gravity room. Happy Chinese Valentine's Day to everyone. If you are listening to this novel on a channel other than Fanfic World, it means it was downloaded and re-uploaded without effort. We warmly invite you to visit our channel, Fanfic World. There you will find the original version of this story and many other novels of various genres. We look forward to seeing you dive into a world of incredible novels. Chapter 217, Shamelessly Begging for Midnight Snacks. After following her two friends to the door with immense difficulty, Liu Kanya realized she'd been tricked. Instead of leaving, they turned around and headed back toward the entrance. As they passed each other, Lin Miaomiao said with a deadpan expression, "We're late today, so why not stay here and train your mental strength? We'll try the 18X gravity chamber next time." Feng Licken nodded in agreement. "What if I get tired again and have to let Lolly carry me back? That would be embarrassing." Liu Kanya, who had already been carried back by Lolly, burst into tears. Were these two bastards ganging up on her? Unfortunately, even knowing the truth, she couldn't protest. Protesting was futile. Liu Kanya wanted to leave directly through the door that was right in front of her, but she was afraid her two malicious friends would come up with other tricks to bully her. After a split second of thought, she decisively turned and followed. As the most honest of the three, Liu Kanya had been bullied her whole life, so she understood the importance of keeping up with her friends. Thankfully, this time, Lin Miaomiao kept her word and walked straight out the door. Liu Kanya breathed a sigh of relief, no longer needing to be carried back to the base by Lolly. After leaving the 16-fold gravity chamber, Lin Miaomiao gave Liu Kanya 10 minutes to rest, and then they went downstairs to the mental training area. At 11:30, Lin Miaomiao and the other two finished their training. They had to return before closing time, or they would receive a warning. If they stayed out overnight, they would be punished. After getting off the bus at the polygonal gate, the three were about to return to the dormitory when they ran into Liu Yifei, who looked bored and was strolling around at night. "Hey, where have you beauties been having fun? It's almost midnight and you're not back just yet," Liu Yifei shouted sarcastically. "It's a good thing you didn't stay out all night, brother Liu. Are you stupid? Aren't we just going there to exercise our gravity-bearing capacity?" Liu Kanya rolled her eyes at him. "But why are you hanging around outside at this time instead of taking a rest?" Liu Yifei said unhappily. "Do you think I want to hang around? It's just that the robots have been complaining these days that someone came back after midnight." Liu Kanya understood immediately. "So you are here to catch people? Then take your time, we'll go back to the room and sleep first. Good night, brother Liu," Lin Miaomiao said casually. After saying goodbye, the three of them started to leave when Liu Yifei blurted out, "Miaomiao, wait a minute." Lin Miaomiao was surprised. "Brother Liu, what's up so late?" Liu Yifei chuckled at her, wanting to say something but feeling a bit embarrassed. After a long pause, he finally said, "Miaomiao, are you hungry?" He hadn't asked that out of the blue. But after being asked that, Lin Miaomiao actually felt a bit hungry, so she replied, "A little." "Really?" Liu Yifei's eyes lit up. "Then do you want a midnight snack?" "Yes," Liu Kanya replied loudly. "Are you going to treat us?" Lin Miaomiao asked. The cafeteria was already closed by then, and eating out was out of the question. The base was closed at midnight. Could it be that Liu Yifei was planning to treat them to nutritional supplements? "Hey, I can treat you guys, but Miaomiao, you have to cook," Liu Yifei said with a smirk. "How is it going?" "Not so good," Lin Miaomiao said expressionlessly. "You should be sleeping soundly now." "No, Miaomiao, you're the best. Look, I haven't tasted your cooking in so long. Yesterday, you even gave me a snack while we were away. You have to make it up to me today, right?" Liu Yifei pleaded shamelessly. "Just agree. We worked so hard on the mission yesterday, the cafeteria is closed, so it's no use Miaomiao agreeing," Feng Licken reminded him. "Don't worry about that. I have a small kitchen in my dorm," Liu Yifei said proudly. "Really? It would be great if Miaomiao's room had a small kitchen too," Liu Kanya said enviously, turning to look at Lin Miaomiao eagerly. "I'm hungry too," although Feng Licken didn't say anything. She was gazing at Lin Miaomiao with longing eyes, which made her feel a little overwhelmed. "Okay, let's do it, but there's a problem," Lin Miaomiao said coldly. "Brother Liu, you never cook for yourself. Do you have any kitchen utensils?" Liu Yifei was dumbfounded. Apart from the standard energy stove and matching frying pans, he really didn't have any kitchen utensils, not even bowls and chopsticks. However, this did not discourage Liu Yifei's determination to have a midnight snack. He did not have any kitchen utensils, but he knew that someone had bought a complete set of kitchen utensils and it was still unopened. However, he would not tell anyone about this in advance, otherwise the cook might regret it and quit. As for whether the cook would give him a shadowless kick after discovering that she had been cheated, Liu Yifei said that as long as he had a midnight snack, it didn't matter even if he was beaten into a pig's head. Don't worry about the kitchen utensils, I guarantee you will be satisfied, Liu Yifei patted his chest and promised. Although he didn't know what the kitchen utensils looked like, he could guarantee that they would not be defective. Okay then, Lin Miaomiao agreed, you lead the way. Liu Yifei didn't care what his purpose was in standing there so late at night, and happily ran ahead to lead the way. The team leader's dormitory was actually on the other side of the cafeteria, a 50-story dome-shaped building with an area of about 200 square meters. There was only one person living on each floor, which could be said to be extremely comfortable. Liu Yifei led the three of them into the elevator, pressed the button for the 50th floor, turned around and smiled. Our dormitories are very comfortable. Miaomiao, you really lost out by refusing to be the cafeteria manager. Lin Miaomiao was unmoved. There's no other way. I have to cook 2 meals a day, which wastes a lot of training time. It's not a big waste of time. Liu Yifei disagreed. Actually, you don't have to do it yourself every day. I heard that Lolly's cooking is more delicious than number 1 and the others. Lin Miaomiao was confused. In other words, there was actually no hard and fast rule that the person in charge of the kitchen had to cook by himself. Then she was really stupid before. The elevator arrived with a ding. Stepping out, they were greeted by a 2-meter wide hallway. Halfway down the hallway, a black metal door suddenly appeared. The three of them glanced around, wondering why Liu Yifei had chosen to live on the top floor. Then, instead of swiping his ID card to enter, they noticed he'd pressed the doorbell. Oh my god, this isn't your dorm? Liu Kaoyu blurted out. Feng Licken frowned. I'm more curious whose dorm this is. Brother Liu, won't you explain? Hey, Liu Yifei said, a little guilty. The answer will be revealed soon. Don't worry. Seeing his evasive attitude, Lin Miaomiao suddenly had a bad feeling. Top floors usually belong to high-ranking officials. Could this be the captain's living quarters? Lin Miaomiao had to admit, in her true mind, this was indeed the captain's, Yi Hongwen's, living quarters. If Shen Yu's old base hadn't been so poor, and Yi Hongwen and the team leaders had lived on the same floor, Lin Miaomiao wouldn't have overlooked this obvious fact. It was a pity that a moment of negligence had destined her to be delivered to the door. Even if she wanted to run now, it was too late. The door was already open. Chapter 218 Beef Sliced Noodles. It was almost midnight, and it was time for Yi Hongwen to go to bed. He was surprised when he heard the doorbell, and even more surprised when he opened the door. Why was Liu Yifei with Lin Miaomiao and the others so late at night? Yi Hongwen asked calmly, what's up, Yifei, boss? Miaomiao agreed to make a midnight snack tonight and wanted to borrow your kitchen, Liu Yifei said with a smile. I remember you bought a set of kitchen utensils. How did she become the one who wanted to borrow it? Lin Miaomiao was annoyed and exposed him with a deadpan face. I thought you meant the small kitchen in your dorm? Liu Yifei chuckled. I haven't had time to buy all the kitchen utensils yet. It's okay to borrow it, boss. We're in the same building anyway, so it doesn't make any difference. The difference was huge, Lin Miaomiao thought to herself. If she had known she would have to borrow Yi Hongwen's kitchen, she would never have agreed. But since she was already here, it wasn't her style to just run away in disgrace. She just hoped Yi Hongwen would say no. Feng Licken knew her friend's dilemma and smiled to help. Boss, we didn't know Brother Liu brought us here to borrow your kitchen. It's so late, I think we shouldn't. It doesn't matter. As long as Miaomiao needs you, you can come no matter how late, Yi Hongwen suddenly interrupted Feng Licken. It's just that Miaomiao should have a midnight snack. Wow, was it the way they went out that was wrong? Such ambiguous words actually came out of the cold mouth of Captain Yi. Lin Miaomiao felt even more absurd. She couldn't hear such words when she wanted to hear them, and now she was not interested, but he said it. She reminded herself to be calm. Maybe he was just saying it casually and didn't mean anything else. After mentally preparing herself, Lin Miaomiao said calmly, Since we're borrowing the boss's kitchen for a late-night snack, the owner should get a share. Yi Hongwen felt a little disappointed, but he carefully concealed it so no one would notice. He turned and walked inside. "Come in." The 4 people standing at the door looked at each other, and then 3 of them moved, pushing Lin Miaomiao to the front. Just like his personality, Yi Hongwen's room was cold and lifeless. The walls and floors were all black, as were the sofas and coffee tables, making people feel cold when they entered. Liu Kaoyer touched her arm and whispered to Liu Yifei, who was walking in front of her, "Is your dorm this dark, too?" "How could that be? Only the boss could stand such an atmosphere." Liu Yifei curled his lips. "Actually, the most luxurious thing about this building is that every floor is equipped with a scene changer. A scene changer, a device that stores thousands of interior decoration schemes, is expensive, costing hundreds of thousands of credits. It allows you to adjust the color and scenery of a room to your liking. Of course, when the changer is turned off, the room returns to its original appearance." "The Rongsa fleet is really rich," Liu Kaoyer muttered. It goes without saying that their own fleet wouldn't buy something as beautiful but useless as a scene changer. So, these things must have been bought by the original owner, the Rongsu fleet. Lin Miaomiao didn't listen to their conversation. She had already entered the kitchen, under Yi Hongwen's guidance. The kitchen was also decorated in black, looking a bit depressing, but it was very clean. And the kitchenware was spotless. Because they had never been used, the packaging was still intact. Wiping off the black lines on her head, Lin Miaomiao began to unpack the kitchen utensils she was going to use. Since Lolly was locked up in the dormitory by her, she had to do it herself. Fortunately, the midnight snack didn't need to be complicated. She unpacked a frying pan and a soup pot, and then took 5 sets of bowls and chopsticks, several large soup bowls, a knife and a cutting board. After quickly cleaning all the things she needed, Lin Miaomiao began to prepare what she was going to make. Lin Miaomiao was about to take the ingredients from the space button when she found Liu Yifei happily bickering with her 2 friends in the living room. She suddenly felt unbalanced. It was them who asked for a midnight snack, so why should she suffer? "Brother Liu," Lin Miaomiao shouted towards the living room, "didn't you say you would provide the ingredients? Then where are your ingredients?" "Oh, I actually forgot." Liu Yifei slapped his thigh. "I'll go back to the dormitory to get them now." Liu Yifei left in a hurry. Lin Miaomiao withdrew her head with satisfaction, filled the soup pot with water and put it on the energy stove to boil, then took out a piece of beef, some green vegetables and a few pounds of dried knife-cut noodles from the space button. Tonight's supper is beef knife-cut noodles. When Liu Yifei came back with a bunch of ingredients to show his treasure, the knife-cut noodles were already in the pot, and Lin Miaomiao was braising the beef. "Don't you have no ingredients?" Liu Yifei glared, pointing at the pot with trembling hands. "Then where did these come from?" Lin Miaomiao put the ingredients he sent into the fresh-keeping cabinet of the space button and said calmly, "They are mine, based on the working friendship with number 1 and others." Although Lin Miaomiao no longer manages the kitchen, it is not difficult for her to go to the kitchen to cook something for herself from time to time, so she still has some ingredients prepared in her space button. After all, she can't cook for herself and use the food on the cafeteria. Besides what she'd prepared, she also had plenty of frozen exotic beast meat in her space button. With modern freezing technology, these things wouldn't be a problem even if they were kept for 10 or 8 years. All she had to do was thaw them in the microwave. Liu Yifei was indignant. "If you already had the ingredients, why did you ask me to go back and get them? You said you'd provide the ingredients." Lin Miaomiao squinted at him. "That doesn't make sense for you to ask me to make a midnight snack and then pay for it." This was so blunt that Liu Yifei felt ashamed and retreated from the kitchen. A few minutes later, the sliced noodles were ready. Lin Miaomiao immediately placed them in a large soup bowl, along with the braised beef as a topping, to avoid a messy mess. Thinking she was busy while the others chatted idly, Lin Miaomiao wanted to add a few more spoonfuls of salt to the beef, but she held back, thinking she'd have to eat too. "Come in and get your food if you want a midnight snack," Lin Miaomiao called out. The chatter in the living room instantly died down, and Liu Yifei and Liu Kaoyer, beaming, rushed into the kitchen. Come on, what do you want?" Without waiting for Lin Miaomiao to reply, they both laid their hands on the bowl of braised beef. There was only one bowl, and fighting over it was bound to cause a commotion. The two, who had just been chatting harmoniously, were now at loggerheads. "I brought it first, don't you know how to get the noodles?" Liu Kaoyer said. I was the one who touched it first, Liu Yifei said unyieldingly. Don't try to take credit for it. Fang Licken, who had arrived a little later, silently took the noodles away. Lin Miaomiao followed, her bowl and chopsticks in hand, not bothering to pay attention to the two irritated people. Regardless of who brought it, they all ate together in the end. Could the person who brought it have it all to themselves? Yi Hongwen, hearing the noise, emerged from his room, a stern expression on his face as he entered the kitchen and shoved Liu Yifei aside. If you don't want to eat, go back to bed. Don't forget you still have to train the new recruits today. Liu Yifei lowered his head and remained subdued. Chapter 219 The Dark Captain Yi. After their midnight snack, Liu Kaoyer and Feng Licken went to wash the dishes and clean up the kitchen. Liu Yifei, who had provided the food even though he hadn't used it, rubbed his stomach and said he wanted to go for a walk to digest it. Lin Miaomiao sat in the living room, waiting for her two friends to return to the dorm. Since entering, Lin Miaomiao had been busy washing dishes, preparing food, and making supper. Only now did she have time to take in the room. Looking at the all-black living room, she couldn't help but mutter, he actually likes such a gloomy environment. No wonder he's so cold and inhumane. As she was mumbling, the other end of the sofa sank. Lin Miaomiao tilted her head in surprise. Yi Hongwen, who had gone to his room after his midnight snack, had returned. Lin Miaomiao was embarrassed. Had she been caught bad-mouthing someone? She tentatively asked, Boss, why are you out again? I thought you went back to your room to rest. As soon as the words left her mouth, Lin Miaomiao felt depressed. She had made another mistake. They were still in someone else's house. How could the owner be resting? She was about to say something to make amends when Yi Hongwen spoke up. I just ate and didn't sleep well, Yi Hongwen said, looking at her. It's so late, why are you and Yifei here for a midnight snack? I went to Changguang for training with Kaoyer and the others. When we got back, we ran into Brother Liu. They wanted a midnight snack, so they came here, Lin Miaomiao said, emphasizing that she was afraid he would misunderstand. Brother Liu said he had a small kitchen, but who knew he would bring us here? I know Yifei always likes to do ridiculous things like this, Yi Hongwen said briefly, no longer mentioning the midnight snack. Instead, he asked about their training. What were you training tonight? Lin Miaomiao felt a little uncomfortable. She didn't want to talk to Yi Hongwen anymore. If it was just a casual chat, she could ignore him, but he had to ask about something that she couldn't help but answer, which made her a little annoyed. Training weight-bearing and mental strength, Lin Miaomiao said sullenly. Yi Hongwen was surprised. Training mental strength is fine, but didn't you have a unified weight-bearing training this morning? So he had done some extra training on his own, no wonder he came back so late. It can't be helped. I'm so far behind Zuchen and the others. I have to work harder, Lin Miaomiao said with a deadpan expression. Just like this mission, all the new recruits, except me, are participating. I'm afraid everyone's going to laugh at me. Although she understood the reason for her inability to go on the mission, she couldn't help but feel a little angry. It was just a little bit of her load-bearing problem, and yet they didn't let her go on the mission. She would definitely become a laughingstock in the fleet. Thinking of this, Lin Miaomiao couldn't help but glare at the people around her. It was just her bad luck today, she'd been caught again. Seeing Lin Miaomiao's embarrassment, Yi Hongwen couldn't help but laugh, but he said casually, What's wrong? Are your eyes hurting? I'm a little sleepy and need to keep them awake, Lin Miaomiao explained sheepishly. She didn't dare say she was glaring at him out of frustration. Oh, then, go back and rest early after they finish cleaning up, Yi Hongwen said, intentionally or not, ignoring the mission. I see. Lin Miaomiao nodded hastily. When Lin Miaomiao recovered from the embarrassment of being caught, she realized the topic had been diverted to another issue. Your eldest brother said he's going to take leave to go home at the end of December this year, and he wants me to grant you a few days of special leave, Yi Hongwen said casually. Why do you Lins have to have your brothers and sisters present when you bring your girlfriend home to meet your parents? New recruits who have been in the army for less than a year don't get home leave, so Lin Miaomiao wasn't surprised by Yi Hongwen's special leave. She was more concerned. My brother's bringing my sister-in-law back at the end of December. He seems pretty efficient. Yi Hongwen was speechless. He just wanted to inquire about the Lin family's affairs without leaving any trace, but this girl only talked about her brother and sister-in-law. However, Lin Xianhao's efficiency was indeed quite high. He was pregnant in just a few months. If any other good brother was so efficient in pursuing his wife, Yi Hongwen would probably ask for advice with a cold face, but it had to be Lin Miaomiao's brother. No, Yi Hongwen said with a serious face, except for special events such as funerals, new recruits who have not been with the team for a year cannot ask for leave. Are there no exceptions? Lin Miaomiao asked unwillingly. Yi Hongwen nodded. Yes, if you have made special contributions to the fleet, or have been promoted to an officer before a year and have worked hard for the fleet and the team members, you can ignore this rule. For example, a logistics manager like Wu Xin. Lin Miaomiao blinked. The logistics manager is an officer. Then what about the canteen manager? Is he also an officer? Yi Hongwen smiled secretly. He mentioned Wu Xin's identity as a logistics manager specifically to remind Lin Miaomiao of the kitchen. If asking for leave can lure her to manage the kitchen again, then there is a reason for her to move to this dormitory. They are upstairs and downstairs, so there will be more opportunities to meet. Of course I can be the canteen manager, Yi Hongwen answered seriously. Why, Miaomiao, you want to continue managing the canteen? This, Lin Miaomiao was embarrassed. She had said it in anger at that time, and it would not be good to regret it after a few months. But when she thought of the privileges of being a manager and managing an extremely comfortable living room, she couldn't help but be moved. Thinking of the grievances Yi Hongwen brought to her, Lin Miaomiao didn't bother to care whether he would make things difficult for her, and she made up her mind and said a little willfully, yes, I want to continue to manage the cafeteria. I don't know if you agree, boss. Unexpectedly, Yi Hongwen agreed very readily. As long as you are willing, you can continue to manage the kitchen from today, but this time it was your own request, so you can't quit again. Lin Miaomiao felt that her character was questioned, and she made an impulsive promise when she was angry. Of course I will do what I say. I'm not that irresponsible person. Okay, then from today, you will continue to be responsible for managing the kitchen. Yi Hongwen made the final decision. You can move in after lunch today, and I will ask Wu Xin to arrange a room for you later. Lin Miaomiao was stunned by the agreement. Why did she feel like she was being cheated? But before she could think about it, the dishwasher duo came out of the kitchen. Chapter 220, Tell him not to buy a dishwasher. Oh my god, washing dishes is not an easy task. The dishwashing liquid is so slippery that I can't even hold a bowl steadily. Liu Kaoyer just came out and yelled, Miaomiao, you must bring Lolly with you next time. So, how many bowls did you break? Lin Miaomiao asked calmly. She seemed to hear the crisp sound of bowls being smashed, but she didn't hear any screams or voices, and thought she had misheard. Liu Kaoyer said hesitantly, it's not a lot, just 5. Puchy. Feng Licken couldn't help laughing. It's not that Feng Licken is disloyal and likes to laugh at her friends, it's just that Kaoyer's words are too funny. Including the 2 large soup basins, they only washed 7 bowls. 7 and 5 broken is not a lot? Lin Miaomiao also wanted to laugh, but she had to hold it back in order to maintain her image, so her face became a little weird. All 5 small bowls are broken. Liu Kaoyer, who was ridiculed by her friends, pouted and said nothing, but Feng Licken said enthusiastically, only 3 small bowls are broken, and 2 large bowls are broken. Licken, do you still want to be friends with me? Liu Kaoyer was angry. She didn't even know to cover up for her. Breaking up, such friends must be broken up. Kaoyer, I'm doing this for your own good. Feng Licken smiled gently. Even if I don't say it, they will know. The kitchen is right there. If something is missing, you can go in and take a look. It's not like no one will know if she doesn't say it. Liu Kaoyer instantly became a deflated ball after hearing this, and apologized weakly. I'm sorry, I didn't mean it. You should say this to the boss. It's useless to say it to us, Lin Miaomiao said coldly. That's what I was saying to the boss. Liu Kaoyer looked up and glared at her fiercely. She said they were good friends, but she didn't even help to smooth things over. Is that so? I didn't hear it if you didn't mention it by name. Lin Miaomiao turned to Yi Hongwen with sudden realization. Boss, look, Kaoyer has apologized to you. What do you say? Yi Hongwen said indifferently. It's okay. A few bowls are not worth much. They are of no use to me anyway, and I can't cook. Lin Miaomiao's mouth twitched, and she thought speechlessly, since she can't cook, why buy a whole set of kitchen utensils? Except for the forgotten dishwasher, she has all kinds of microwave ovens, small ovens, and stew pots. Is it because she has too many credit points and has nowhere to spend them? Thank you, boss, Liu Kaoyer said with a beaming smile. I knew boss wouldn't care about such a small matter. He's not as stingy as Miaomiao, asking me to pay for 10 bowls just because I broke one. Lin Miaomiao rolled her eyes at her. Who told you to eat peacefully? Even a child of your age wouldn't break a bowl, and you're jumping around and breaking bowls while eating. How can I not teach you a lesson? Besides, in the end, someone else still blamed the 10 bowls. But you can't blame me for the broken bowls this time, Liu Kaoyer blurted out anxiously. It's boss's fault for not buying a dishwasher. If he had one, we wouldn't have to wash the dishes, and the bowls wouldn't have broken. Dishwashers are really cheap these days, even ordinary families can afford them, making them a must-have in every kitchen. However, Yi Hongwen, who has never cooked before, had never even considered dishwashers. When he bought his kitchenware, he simply asked the supermarket clerk to provide it for him. It wasn't known whether it was because the salesperson was too careless or because Yi Hongwen's aura was so strong that it frightened everyone, but Lin Miaomiao searched the kitchen and couldn't find a dishwasher. This was why Liu Kaoyer and Feng Liken were sent to wash the dishes after their midnight snack. You couldn't expect the owner to clean up after using someone else's clean kitchen. Breaking a few bowls wasn't a big deal, and Liu Kaoyer didn't think Yi Hongwen would care, so most of what they said just now was just a joke. It was just that her impulsive temper seemed to have caused trouble again. Breaking bowls and then accusing someone of not buying a dishwasher was so embarrassing that Liu Kaoyer wanted to cry. Sorry, I didn't know we had to buy a dishwasher, Yi Hongwen said, breaking the silence. It's too late. You should go back and get some rest, or you won't be energetic for training today. Okay, then we'll go home first, Liu Kaoyer hurriedly called to her friends. Let's go back to bed. I'm so sleepy. Upon hearing this, Lin Miaomiao stood up and walked out without even a polite goodbye. Feng Liken and Liu Kaoyer hurriedly followed. As they were about to leave, Yi Hongwen said, Miaomiao, don't forget what you just promised. I know, I don't have amnesia, Lin Miaomiao said impatiently. With a click, the door opened and closed. Lin Miaomiao and the other two walked silently towards the elevator. Only after they entered did someone speak to break the silence. Miaomiao, what did you just promise the boss? Liu Kaoyer asked curiously. Lin Miaomiao rolled her eyes at her. The incident of breaking the bowl has just been revealed, and you already have the mind to pry into other people's affairs. Liu Kaoyer scratched her head in frustration. Stupid Miaomiao, I didn't mean it. Besides, the boss doesn't care anymore. Why are you still holding on to it? What do you mean I'm holding on to it? Lin Miaomiao said uncomfortably. I just think that your bad habit of breaking bowls is incorrigible, and you should correct it. How can you not change your bad habit of breaking bowls? This time, you only broke it twice, Liu Kaoyer said unconvinced. Yet, the first time, I broke one bowl. The second time, I broke 5 bowls. If it happens again, I don't know how many bowls I will break. Lin Miaomiao walked out of the elevator with a wooden face. Liu Kaoyer, Miaomiao is so mean. Hasn't she heard that when people are in trouble, they should not be broken, so why not let people smash bowls happily? Come on, stop arguing, you two, Feng Liken pointed out helplessly. It's almost 2 o'clock. Aren't you really sleepy? Are you planning on missing training tomorrow? Liu Kaoyer exclaimed. It's almost 2 o'clock. No wonder I'm so sleepy. I must have been so sleepy that I broke the bowl just now. In the blink of an eye, Liu Kaoyer found another good excuse for breaking the bowl. Lin Miaomiao chuckled. Pretend, keep pretending. I'll see how far you can go. Liu Kaoyer ignored her and quickened her pace towards the dormitory, almost running to show that she was indeed sleepy. Back at the dormitory, Lin Miaomiao washed up and lay in bed, but she didn't feel sleepy at all. She had a feeling that Yi Hongwen's attitude tonight was a little strange, as if something was wrong, but she couldn't put her finger on it. Alice, icebergs are troublesome creatures. She didn't know why she had been so obsessed with wanting to melt him. She was just asking for trouble. After calming down, Lin Miaomiao regretted what she had said just now. It was just a few days of vacation, but she actually volunteered to take over the kitchen for a few days of vacation. In the final analysis, she was actually tricked by Yi Hongwen. His words led her into the trap step by step without her knowing it, and he didn't give her a chance to regret it. He was really too treacherous. No, she had to be more alert when she saw him in the future. She must not let him find a chance to trick her again, let alone give him a good face. As for the things she had promised, she could only accept them if she couldn't regret it. After all, she had gained some benefits. She was very envious of the small kitchen in Yi Hongwan's dormitory today. When she moved to her new dormitory, she would also buy a set of kitchen utensils and decorate the small kitchen. Chapter 221, Special Treatment is the Real Stunning. Lin Miaomiao, lost in thought, had no idea what time she'd fallen asleep. It felt like she'd just closed her eyes and been automatically woken up by her biological alarm. After breakfast, she headed to the fitness center with dark circles under her eyes. But the moment she entered, she was met with a startling sight. Lin Miaomiao, you idiot! Can't you use less childish tactics? Sheng Ruinan rushed over, his eyes even darker. You won't even let me get a membership at your crappy club. Aren't you afraid your business will go bankrupt? I'm afraid your business will go bankrupt if I take over, Lin Miaomiao said seriously. You pushed me into the lake, so what else can you do? What if you commit suicide in my club? I'll have to pay for it. Everyone present burst into laughter. Someone else mused, Sheng Ruinan pushed Lin Miaomiao into the lake. When did that happen? I've never heard of it. I haven't heard of it, someone else said. Damn, not to mention you, even I haven't heard of it. Yu Zixin, who was mixed in the crowd, was not happy. How dare you conceal such an important thing? Lin Miaomiao must be itching for trouble. Liu Kaoyer and others nodded in agreement, saying that they would never let this bastard Lin Miaomiao go. Someone who was confronting Sheng Ruinan couldn't help but sneeze. The person who felt that he sneezed even though he didn't have a fever or a cold was angry. Sheng Ruinan, what the hell did you put on your body that made me sneeze all the time? Sheng Ruinan, who was already shaking with anger, was even more disheveled. I'm using the latest perfume from the Star Festival. If you have a problem with your nose, don't talk nonsense, you must have bought a fake, Lin Miaomiao said firmly. Nonsense, Sheng Ruinan shrieked, like a cat whose tail had been stepped on, her hair standing on end. I've always used genuine products. Oh, fine, just call it nonsense, but what does it have to do with me if you use genuine products? Lin Miaomiao said with a deadpan expression. Get out of the way. I need to go exercise. No, if you don't explain yourself today, forget about exercising, Sheng Ruinan said, not even acknowledging her argument. Liu Yifei, upon hearing such arrogant words upon entering, flew into rage. Sheng Ruinan, I don't know when you've been in charge here, Lin Miaomiao also said with a deadpan expression, it's none of your business whether I exercise or not. With that, she pushed past a person blocking her path and headed inside. Already in a bad mood, Lin Miaomiao didn't bother to engage in any more nonsense. Captain Liu, are you guys planning to take sides? Sheng Ruinan's eyes were blazing. It doesn't matter if the good team members are a little biased, Liu Yifei said angrily, then pushed her aside. Go away. You're such a big mess, don't you think you'll be in the way? Ha ha ha, the onlookers finally burst into laughter. That's great. I'll remember you, Sheng Ruinan's eyes instantly filled with tears. Too ashamed to exercise here anymore, she sprinted out. After Sheng Ruinan left, Liu Yifei turned to look at the door and muttered, half smiley, you're grabbing my pigtails to keep me here? Let's see how long you can hold out. After the hiccup, everyone resumed their normal training. While the training sessions still had set times, the team leader no longer assigned the training sessions. Instead, the team members chose their own training. According to yesterday's training plan, Lin Miaomiao and the others were supposed to be doing the aerial climbing walk today. However, due to severe sleep deprivation, she was afraid of running out of energy and falling, so she decided to switch to sit-ups. If she didn't have the energy to get up immediately, it was okay to just lie there, but she just had to be careful not to fall asleep. Liu Kaoyer and Feng Licken looked at each other and also chose sit-ups. They hadn't slept well either, so sit-ups were just right for them. Hey, why did they change their activities? Isn't it the aerial climbing today? Yu Zixin was dumbfounded. Maybe they didn't sleep well last night, Zhu Chen guessed. Miaomiao's dark circles are very obvious, then what should we do? Yu Zixin was a little undecided. Should he exercise as planned or follow those sleep-deprived people? I'm going to do sit-ups too, Zhang Xingyan said in a muffled voice. I also want to know when Miaomiao was pushed into the lake. Yeah, I want to know too. Ashen, let's join them today. Yu Zixin turned and looked at Zhu Chen expectantly. Okay, Zhu Chen didn't object. Lin Miaomiao and the other two chose the equipment in the corner of the sit-up area. They wanted to sleep after doing just a dozen sit-ups. It was so comfortable lying down. What should they do if they didn't want to get up? The three of them were sprawled over their machines, ready to take a nap. when Zhang Zingyan rushed over. Miaomiao, what did you just say about being pushed into the lake? Lin Miaomiao said with a sullen face. It's training time now, let's not talk about those irrelevant things. The drowsy Liu Kaoyer suddenly woke up and said, Miaomiao, we can listen to you while we train. You can't hide such an important thing from us, don't make excuses, tell us now, Feng Liken said with a rare firm attitude. Looking at Yu Zixin and Zhu Chen, both of them looked determined not to give up until they got an answer. Lin Miaomiao was immediately embarrassed. This was like a three-person trial. Well, if that was the case, she might as well confess honestly. It was her fault for not sleeping well and not thinking straight, so she let it slip. So, Lin Miaomiao described the events of the day as likely as possible, and Liu Kaoyer and the others were furious. Feng Liken understood. I was wondering why a minor fight would alarm the parents. It turns out Miaomiao had concealed such a thing. Damn, that Shang Ruinan is so shameless that he dares to come and provoke us after doing such a thing. Liu Kaoyer was so angry that she was about to smoke. She should be severely beaten. Yu Zixin waved his fist to the sky. Zhu Chen hurriedly pulled his hand away. Ashen, keep your voice down. Don't let anyone know if you want to beat her. What are you afraid of? I guess no one will stand up for her if I beat her, Zhang Zingyan said grimly. Just don't beat her to the point of paralysis. Lin Miaomiao held her forehead. This was why she didn't want to say it. Her friends all advocated solving problems with violence. However, this was Xiao Yin's star, not Mi Lulin, and she didn't want to cause trouble for her friends because of her. How should she change the subject and divert their attention? Lin Miaomiao, thinking about moving today, cleared her throat and said, Okay, I have some good news for everyone. What good news? The five people, who were discussing how to respond to Shang Ruinan, asked in unison. Lin Miaomiao raised her chin proudly and said, I'm going to have a small kitchen too. What? This good news stunned Liu Kaoyer and the other four. Without waiting for her friends to recover, Lin Miaomiao spilled the beans and told them everything. After listening for a long time, Liu Kaoyer was only concerned about one thing. So, from now on, we'll have a place to cook our own meals. Lin Miaomiao frowned. Besides eating, what else do you remember? I remember sleeping, Liu Kaoyer said, feeling a little jealous. Miaomiao, you'll be so lucky. They've got a scene changer installed there. You can have any kind of dormitory you want. That feature is really nice, Yu Zixin interrupted. But I still prefer the small kitchen. Let's not go to the cafeteria for lunch. Let's just help Miaomiao move and then cook her own meals. After all, cooking her own meals was the key point. Chapter 222 Housewarming Ceremony. With a space button in hand and a small amount of stuff to carry, Lin Miaomiao's move took less than 10 minutes, 5 of which was spent cleaning the room. As for those who clamored to help with the move, they offered only lip service. However, even with that lip service, everyone demanded a reward. We have to celebrate moving into a new house, so let's consider this a celebration, Yu Zixin said righteously. That's easy to say, since you're not the one suffering anyway, Lin Miaomiao pouted. Okay, stop nagging like a little old lady. Lolly's back, and you won't have to worry about it with her. Liu Kaoyer shoved her into the kitchen. Lin Miaomiao was speechless. These people were pure foodies, willing to throw their moral integrity aside for food. With everyone so eager, Lin Miaomiao resigned herself to her fate and ordered Lolly to prepare the ingredients. The new dormitory was spacious, divided into 2 bedrooms, a living room, a kitchen, and a bathroom. Since the kitchen was quite large, Lin Miaomiao took out the energy refrigerator from the space to make it easier to get the ingredients. Her eyes fell upon the empty stove, and Lin Miaomiao walked back to the living room in an embarrassed manner. I have some bad news for you. There's only an energy stove and a frying pan here, not even any bowls or chopsticks. So you'll probably have to go to the cafeteria for lunch. What? Miaomiao, you didn't buy any kitchenware? Liu Kaoyer asked in disbelief. Of course not. Don't forget, I just moved into the new dorm, Lin Miaomiao reminded calmly. Yu Zixin was not giving up. Don't you have any in your space button? I remember you used to have all those. That set is at home, Lin Miaomiao said helplessly. Back then, I thought I wouldn't have the chance to cook once I joined the fleet. Really? Liu Kaoyer asked. Really? Lin Miaomiao replied. The two stared at each other for a long time, and Liu Kaoyer finally accepted the sad truth. Let's go. Feng Liken patted Liu Kaoyer's shoulder and comforted her. Miaomiao already has a small kitchen, so there will be plenty of opportunities in the future. We can only wait for next time. Alice, Liu Cao sighed. Lin Miaomiao, however, had no plans to eat. I need to clean up my room. I'm skipping lunch in the cafeteria and just taking my nutritional supplements. Okay, the rest of the group, having been so happy for nothing, reluctantly headed to the cafeteria for food. After directing Lolita to clean the Shinjuku dorm, Lin Miaomiao began decorating her bedroom. The bed was better than the average dorm room, a 3-meter-long, cushioned one, perfect for tossing around in. Her frustration was that the bedding in her space button wouldn't work again. There were too many large and small options, so she'd probably have to go online to buy a suitable one. However, new bedding would have to be washed and dried before use, so for now, she could only make do with a smaller set. After setting up her belongings, Lin Miaomiao began studying the scene changer. Her dorm room, now plain white with white walls and porcelain floors, was ready to transform into her favorite scene. Flipping the switch, a rectangular virtual screen appeared before her, displaying a series of decorating options like starry sky, forest, and universe. Please choose the decor you prefer, a flat electronic voice announced. Choose the starry sky, Lin Miaomiao said. The walls and ceiling of the room transformed instantly, and Lin Miaomiao felt as if she were immersed in a shimmering starry sky, with countless stars swirling and twinkling around her. Beautiful, but only for admiring, Lin Miaomiao muttered to herself. I wouldn't feel safe sleeping under the starry sky at night. Just as she was about to continue the illusion, the doorbell rang. Who is it? Could it be Camille and the others back? Lin Miaomiao muttered as she went to open the door. The door opened, and the person standing outside wasn't her friends, but Ye Hongwen, who lived upstairs. Although she hated to admit it, Lin Miaomiao was indeed living on the 49th floor. It was Wu Zhen, that idiot, who said that the dorms were all assigned and refused to let her choose. It wasn't that she couldn't choose at all, but the number of floors Wu Zhen had given her was simply too baffling. The 13th floor, then the 25th, then the 38th, all with the same numbers. Who would believe she didn't do it on purpose? Boss, what's up? Lin Miaomiao was blocking the doorway, with no intention of inviting anyone in. Yi Hongwen raised his eyebrows. Guests are here, and the host won't let them in. Lin Miaomiao reluctantly gave way and said, come in. In order to prevent the uninvited guest from questioning her hospitality, Lin Miaomiao led him to the sofa to sit down, and directly took out a bottle of mineral water from the freezer and handed it to him. After taking the bottle of frozen water, Ye Hongwen's mouth twitched. He had something to say, but he wisely kept his opinion to himself. If he said it out loud, the host here would probably kick him out without hesitation. Miaomiao likes the starry sky. Ye Hongwen chose a safer topic. It's okay, not particularly, Lin Miaomiao said casually. Oh, then why did you choose this decoration scene? Ye Hongwen was a little puzzled. Shouldn't she choose the scene she likes most? Could it be that there is no scene she particularly likes among thousands of scenes? I wanted to, too, Lin Miaomiao glared at him resentfully. But I was still choosing, and you came. Ye Hongwen was embarrassed. He hadn't expected such an answer. After a moment's hesitation, he tentatively asked, how about I help you choose? No thanks, Lin Miaomiao refused without a second thought. Then, feeling a little hurtful, she chuckled dryly, I want to look at the starry sky first. By the way, boss, what's the matter with you coming here at this time? Visiting someone else's dorm during lunch break was incredibly unethical and should be severely reprimanded. Ye Hongwen stared at her intently, until she was almost irritated and wanted to kick him out. Then he slowly said, you're moving after all, so I'm bringing you a little housewarming gift. Housewarming gift? Lin Miaomiao was confused. She was just moving dormitories, so there was no need for a gift. Ye Hongwen ignored her question, got up, went into the kitchen, and retrieved his gift from the space button, a full set of kitchen utensils. Looking at the vaguely familiar packaging, Lin Miaomiao felt as if 1,000 beasts were galloping through her heart. She pointed at the pile of gifts with a trembling hand and asked, are these things not from your kitchen? To her dismay, Ye Hongwen actually nodded in agreement, saying, these kitchen utensils are useless to me, so I might as well give them to you. Actually, not all of these items were familiar to Lin Miaomiao. For example, the set of dishes and chopsticks was clearly new, and the dishwasher, which had been missing, was now complete. They also had a small deep fryer and a barbecue grill. These were all things Lin Miaomiao needed, but unfortunately, the gift was from someone she had decided to stay away from. This left her torn. Should she accept them, or should she accept them? Yi Hongwen noticed her hesitation and said calmly, "If you're satisfied with these gifts, then work hard from now on." Lin Miaomiao resented herself. No wonder he had come to give her a housewarming gift. It turned out he was trying to motivate her to work harder. Thinking of this, Lin Miaomiao said bluntly, "Since you said so, boss, I'll accept the gift. I will definitely do my part in the future and cook 2 more dishes for everyone every few days. You can arrange the kitchen affairs as long as you don't tire yourself out," Yi Hongwen said and prepared to leave. "You still have to train in the afternoon. You don't look very energetic. You should take a rest." Lin Miaomiao said goodbye. "Goodbye, boss. Come again when you have time." Seeing her unconcealed happiness, Yi Hongwen felt a little upset, so he deliberately said, "Since Miaomiao said so, I will definitely come often in the future." Lin Miaomiao burst into tears. In fact, she was just being polite. Chapter 223 In my heart you are the goddess. After moving into the dorm, Lin Miaomiao's life didn't change much. With Lolita in charge of the kitchen, she became hands-off, only occasionally going in to add a couple of dishes when she felt like it. No one saw anything wrong with Lin Miaomiao's behavior, not even Feng Zudi, who had once disliked her. Sheng Ruinan wanted to protest, arguing that since Lolita was in charge, Lin Miaomiao wasn't qualified to be the cafeteria manager. Her manager status should be revoked. "Why are you always messing around?" Feng Zudi taunted her. "Lolita is in charge of the kitchen, but a robot butler still follows its owner's wishes. In other words, the real boss is Lin Miaomiao." Feng Zudi and Sheng Ruinan had been at odds for some time, and whenever they met, they would argue and fight. This was a situation Lin Miaomiao welcomed. After all, with Feng Zudi around, Sheng Ruinan had no time to pick on her. While she didn't mind the hassles, she would get tired of them after a while. Without Sheng Ruinan's distractions, Lin Miaomiao's life was truly relaxing. Besides her regular daily training, she also diligently strengthened her mental strength and increased her weight-bearing capacity. Perhaps because she was no longer obsessed with gaining Yi Hongwen's favor, Lin Miaomiao's training became more focused, and the results were noticeable, especially in terms of weight-bearing capacity. In less than 2 weeks, she had successfully entered the 20-fold gravity chamber. Liu Gaoer, confined to her 18-fold gravity chamber, was envious. "We're all training together, and the time we've been doing it is almost the same, so why are you making such great progress?" Lin Miaomiao boasted. "That's the difference between a genius and an average person. Don't forget, I was called a goddess in school, and I'm going to take that title back here." "Come on, you're still dreaming of being a goddess? Don't forget you went completely nuts your sophomore year," Liu Gaoer scoffed. Besides, the people in the fleet weren't as free as the students in school, fretting over celebrity contests and seemingly never having enough time for daily training. Want to be a goddess in the fleet? Sure, if you're exceptionally skilled and capable enough to surpass everyone else and become a senior mecha pilot, then naturally, people will call you a goddess. It's worth noting that only those at level 8 or above are considered senior mecha pilots, and there are only a few hundred level 8 mecha pilots in the Federation. Most of those who reach level 8 are in their 90s. At that age, who would still be considered a male god or goddess? Therefore, Liu Gaoer felt that her friend was simply daydreaming. Unless you become a level 6 mecha pilot before you're 30, just like the captain, if he can do it, so can I, Lin Miaomiao said, clenching her fists. "I'm only 18, and I still have 12 years. I'll definitely become a mecha goddess again." "Goddess, you're so powerful. You can definitely catch up to the captain. Go for it." Zhang Keek, a die-hard fan, came out to support her idol. While it was good to have someone cheer you on, something about that statement sounded off. Lin Miaomiao pondered it carefully for a moment, her face darkening. "Keek, although I'm touched by your support and advocacy, I'm not pursuing the captain, so I'd better take that back," Lin Miaomiao said with a dull expression, to avoid any misunderstanding. Puff. Liu Gaoer and Feng Liken couldn't help but laugh. Zhang Keek finally realized the ambiguity in her words and blushed as she explained, "I'm sorry, I didn't mean to. I just meant to say, goddess, you can definitely become a level 6 mecha pilot like the captain before you turn 30. Lin Miaomiao liked this, and her expression softened. "Thank you for your support, Geek. I believe I can do it too. Look at you, you're so capable." You still have fans, Liu Kaoyer said with amusement. But Keek, what's wrong with you? You've been in the fleet for so long, and I haven't seen you come to play with us. Wu Na, the card maker, would come run with them whenever she had time, but Zhang Keek, Lin Miaomiao's biggest fan, was rarely seen except during training. This was quite unusual. Well, I'm too weak to get close to the goddess, Zhang Keek said with a hint of shame. Zhang Keek had come in as a second-level mecha operator. Even Shen Yu, at her worst, hadn't recruited many second-level operators, most were third-level. She feared that if she came over, she'd embarrass Lin Miaomiao. What nonsense, Lin Miaomiao glared at her unhappily. We're friends. No matter your skill level, if anyone dares to mock you, we'll beat them up for you, Liu Kaoyer agreed. Miaomiao's right. Beat up anyone who dares to mock you. With us to help you, you don't have to be afraid. Also, Keek, stop calling me goddess. I'm only a 4th-level mecha operator, barely qualified to go on missions. If you keep calling me that, people will laugh at me, Lin Miaomiao sighed. Though she hated to admit it, her goddess status had been eroding since she'd traveled here. No matter how cool and impassive she tried, her skills couldn't keep up, and she was slowly falling from grace. Lin Miaomiao was now just an ordinary 4th-level mecha operator, not some mecha goddess. No, Zhang Keek said seriously, in my heart you are a goddess, no matter it was, present or future, it will never change. Keek is so amazing. If you were not also a girl, I would have thought that this was a passionate confession to Miaomiao. Yu Zixin clapped his hands with a smile, and then winked at Zhang Xingyan. Xingyan, you should learn from me. If you have this level, there is no need to worry about the confession not being successful. Zhang Xingyan nodded cautiously. He also felt that Zhang Keek's words were very touching, so he smiled at her with 8 big white teeth. Keek, you will definitely help me, right? Don't even think about it. Zhang Keek, who always had a good temper, changed his face. A man like you who has no looks, no height, no strength, and even few credit points, how can you be worthy of my goddess? It's better for you to be a follower. Zhang Xingyan felt as if he was struck by lightning. He never knew that he was so bad that he was classified as a man with nothing. Please allow him to cry first. Keek, don't go too far. Yu Zixin stood up for his brother. After all, Xingyan is our friend. Even if you are telling the truth, you should be more tactful. Yu, Zin, Zhang Xingyan shouted, gritting his teeth. Are you still my brother? You actually agree with what she said about me? It was a slip of the tongue? Absolutely a slip of the tongue? Yu Zixin laughed dryly. How could I agree with her? Xingyan, please don't misunderstand. Come on, don't try to fool me again. Zhang Xingyan stood up angrily with the dinner plate. I'm full and want to rest early tonight. I won't go to training with you. Zhang Xingyan strode away, his back filled with infinite desolation. Except for Yu Zixin, no one spoke, and no one tried to keep him. If you are listening to this novel on a channel other than Fanfic World, it means it was downloaded and re-uploaded without effort. We warmly invite you to visit our channel, Fanfic World. There you will find the original version of this story and many other novels of various genres. We look forward to seeing you dive into a world of incredible novels. Chapter 224, Anger. After Zhang Xingyan left, Yu Zixin said anxiously, Miaomiao, what's wrong with you? Xingyan is so sad and you don't help to comfort her. I don't know how to comfort her, Lin Miaomiao replied with a wooden face. At the celebration party on the night of moving to the new base, Lin Miaomiao and Yi Hongwen had a falling out. After that, Zhang Xingyan became more and more attentive and considerate to her, and confessed his love to her from time to time, but unfortunately she rejected him mercilessly. She did not have a liking for Zhang Xingyan beyond friendship, not because he was not excellent, but because she had no feelings. Lin Miaomiao was actually quite ruthless. She would not comfort a man who had a good impression of her and had confessed his love to her many times but was rejected, because she did not want him to have misunderstandings, even if that person was a friend. I should have known. Yu Zixin scratched his hair and said dejectedly, Miaomiao, you're still like this. You won't even give me a chance to imagine. I don't know whether to say you're kind or heartless. Maybe this is for the best. Fang Licken sighed helplessly. I just hope he can figure it out sooner. Miaomiao is stubborn and a bit of a stickler for details. If she likes someone, she likes them, and if she doesn't like someone, she doesn't like them. It's hard to change her mind. Whether it's Shi Yaoqian or Zhang Xingyan, she's convinced they can only be friends or strangers. There's no third way. Feng Licken and others have tried to persuade her many times, both overtly and covertly, but to no avail. Now all they can do is hope that Zhang Xingyan won't be like Xi Yaoqian, preferring to be a stranger rather than give up. It's all your fault. Xingyan isn't as bad as you say, Yu Zixin said, his temper flaring. You used to be embarrassed to show up in front of Miaomiao, but now you're comfortable doing so. You might as well just be invisible like before. I didn't mean to, Zhang Qi said, feeling uneasy. Although she hadn't been around Lin Miaomiao much lately, she still kept a close eye on her goddess. Zhang Xingyan wasn't as bad as Zhang Qi made him out to be. He wasn't as good-looking as Zhu Chen, but he was handsome and a bit handsome. He was about 1.8 meters tall, and his abilities weren't great, but they were better than most. Not to mention his family background. He couldn't get along with Yu Zixin without a family background. In the eyes of ordinary people, Zhang Xingyan was considered a wealthy man. It was a shame that the person he fell in love with was superior to him in every way, which was why he was so sensitive to Zhang Qi's comments. What Zhang Xingyan didn't know was that Zhang Qi's harsh comment stemmed from the fact that he'd been rejected so many times, yet he'd only grown more resilient. This had caused considerable distress to her goddess, Lin Miaomiao, and she wanted to vent her frustration by verbally attacking him. Unexpectedly, Yu Zixin, always a joking person, had added a casual remark today, which angered the person being teased. Don't be nervous, geek. It's not your fault, Lin Miaomiao reassured her, but then she turned to Yu Zixin and frowned. Zixin, taking your anger out on others isn't a good habit. Yu Zixin felt a little annoyed and opened his mouth to say something else, but Feng Licken interrupted with a smile. Geek said he didn't dare approach your goddess before because of his lack of ability. But now he's here. Does that mean you've advanced? Yes, Zhang Qi said shyly. I was promoted to level 3 Mecha Master a few days ago. Congratulations, Keek, Feng Licken said sincerely. Congratulations, Lin Miaomiao also said. Keek is amazing. Zhang Qi smiled from ear to ear after receiving the goddess praise, and did not forget to assure, I will continue to work hard and strive to catch up with everyone's pace as soon as possible. Miaomiao Liu Cao called out in a charming voice. Keek's advancement is a happy event. Why not have an extra meal in the evening? Lin Miaomiao frowned. How could this guy think of extra meals for everything? He's really a real foodie. Eat, eat, eat. All you do is eat. You haven't even finished dinner and you're already thinking about supper. Yu Zixin glared at Liu Cao. Xingyan was so upset just now, and you didn't even offer any comfort? And you still call us friends? Liu Cao slammed her chopsticks on the table. You want to start a fight, don't you? You've upset someone and you're taking it out on everyone else. I'm not like Keek, letting you slander me. Zin, Zhu Chen disapproved. We should stay out of Xingyan's business. Yu Zixin instantly deflated and said sullenly, I don't understand what they're thinking. They're all, to put it nicely, crazy about love, and to put it bluntly, unrepentant. Relationships can't be forced. If you understand what's wrong, turn back. If he can't do that, he'll just keep getting hurt, Feng Licken commented objectively. In this regard, Feng Licken thought Lin Miaomiao had done a great job. She had tried, suffered pain, and shed tears, but when she felt it was time to give up, she was able to let go easily. While liking someone isn't something you can just change, it's good to keep it hidden deep inside, using busyness to smooth over any resentment. Every loss has its rewards. Feng Licken saw that Lin Miaomiao's diligent training and rapid progress weren't necessarily a bad thing. Perhaps she could become a level 6 Mecha pilot before she turned 30. I'm full. Lin Miaomiao wiped her mouth with a napkin and stood up to leave. Enjoy your meal. Wait, I'm full too, Liu Cao said, her voice slurred. She hadn't finalized the midnight snack yet, so she had to make an effort. Zhang Qi hadn't finished her meal, but she didn't bother eating anymore. Goddess, wait for me. Feng Licken followed silently, carrying her plate. If they were going to leave, they could leave together. Why all the nonsense? In less than a minute, only 2 people were left at the table. Yu Zixin was stunned. What's with their attitude? Don't they usually wait for us? Zhu Chen said helplessly. Xin, hurry up and eat, or you'll be behind them. If I can't keep up, then forget it. Who cares? Yu Zixin fumed. I just said a few words on Xingyan's behalf. Why are you giving me such a cold shoulder? I can just quit being friends. Zhu Chen helplessly held his forehead. He'd advised them many times not to meddle in relationships, especially when both parties were friends. Trying to help would only cause more conflict. Now, he just hoped Zhang Xingyan wouldn't follow Shi Yaoqian's path. Yu Zixin spoke tough, but his actions were completely different. He shoved 2 more mouthfuls of food and then declared he was full and needed to go to training. I won't give them the chance to leave me behind, fortunately. Lin Miaomiao and the others were used to taking a walk after dinner, so they wouldn't suffer from indigestion if they entered the gravity room right after eating. This made it easy for Yu Zixin and the others to catch up. Wow, you're pretty fast, Liu Kaoyer scoffed. I thought you'd eat until the cafeteria closed. I don't feel like arguing with you, Yu Zixin said with a stern voice. The elevator doors opened, and Zhang Keep was the first to descend. The girl was still struggling alone in the 14-fold gravity chamber. After exiting the elevator, she smiled and said, "Goddess, call me by name." Lin Miaomiao interrupted her bluntly. Zhang Keep's smile widened. "Okay, Miaomiao, yeah," Lin Miaomiao replied. "What time are you going back?" "About 11:30. I still have to do some mental training," Zhang Keep replied. "We're about the same," Lin Miaomiao thought for a moment. "I'll message you when we get back. We'll have a late-night snack together." "Really?" Zhang Keep was pleasantly surprised. Late-night snacks weren't a thing at a base, unless you were returning from a mission late at night. Lin Miaomiao's invitation meant she'd cook for you herself, and Zhang Keep was naturally delighted. Lin Miaomiao nodded affirmatively. "It's nothing fancy. Just a bowl of noodles to fill your stomach and celebrate your becoming a level 3 mecha master." "Thank you, Miaomiao," Zhang Keep said excitedly, almost calling her goddess out of habit. "You're welcome." Lin Miaomiao felt a little uncomfortable. It was just a bowl of noodles, so there was no need to get so excited. She looked so touched that she almost wanted to throw herself at him. Lin Miaomiao decisively stretched her foot back and pressed the close button, and the elevator door slowly closed. Chapter 225 Lin Daiyu enters the infirmary. After reaching the 18x gravity chamber, Lin Miaomiao followed them out of the elevator. She was used to following everyone else's movements every day, passing through and continuing up one floor. Zhu Chen followed her in a similar fashion. However, Zhu Chen was one floor higher, meaning he had to pass through both the 18x and 20x gravity chambers. Zixin is so lucky, Liu Kaoyer sighed. Zhu Chen sacrifices a lot of training time for him. Are you jealous? Then find one too, Yu Zixin boasted. I'm afraid your hot temper won't allow you to find a man as good as Zhu Chen. Get out of the way, Liu Kaoyer pouted. There are so many good men out there. Who says you're the only one who can find one? What's all this boasting? I'll definitely find someone better in the future, Yu Zixin snorted disdainfully. Kaoyer, even though it's nighttime, dreams can still be inaccurate. Just give up. My Zhu Chen is the best. Stupid young people have a lot of fun, Lin Miaomiao said coldly. Without waiting for Yu Zixin to react, she quickly walked forward. Hey, Miaomiao, if you don't play here today, will you draw the turtle? Fang Licken asked in surprise. Lin Miaomiao said without turning back, there's nothing fun here. I'm going up first. To quickly regain her goddess status, Lin Miaomiao felt she needed to work harder. Drawing the turtle, such a childish game, simply wasn't for her. Zhu Chen thought for a moment and said, then I'll go up first too. If I don't work hard, Miaomiao will overtake me. Hurry up, Yu Zixin urged. If that girl overtakes us, she'll be the one showing off. After staying alone in the 20-fold gravity chamber until 8 o'clock, Lin Miaomiao went to train her mental strength. She had already connected half of the 4th level training maze, but for the past 2 days, she'd hit a bottleneck. She couldn't even light up the next white dot, and instead was being scattered by the ones in front. The inability to break through the bottleneck had made her very annoyed. So when Zhang Xingyan left in a tantrum, she wasn't in the mood to dissuade him. Instead, she breathed a sigh of relief. After entering the level 4 mental power training room, Lin Miaomiao took a deep breath and waited until her mind relaxed before beginning her practice. The white dot ahead of her quickly lit up. As she neared the center of the maze, she tensed, her pace slowing down. Slowly, her mental power approached the point she hadn't connected to yesterday. She tentatively connected, but just like yesterday, it slipped away. Lin Miaomiao gritted her teeth, redirected her mental power, and probed again, this time more cautiously and carefully, but it still slipped away. She kept trying, but her mental power kept slipping away. She didn't know how long it took, until she felt numb. Still, the point wouldn't connect. Lin Miaomiao, furious, abandoned her cautious attempts and instead, unleashed her full mental power, charging towards it with all her might. Then, the lit dots ahead suddenly dimmed. Damn it, why did it break again? Lin Miaomiao cursed, a rare outburst. She tried to connect again, but she felt a tingling sensation in her spiritual realm. Lin Miaomiao couldn't help but feel alarmed. This feeling was familiar to her, she had experienced it for over a month after she had just crossed over. Could her spiritual realm have been damaged again? Although she wasn't sure, Lin Miaomiao didn't dare to use her spiritual power again. She felt she should see a doctor. So, should she go to the infirmary at Changguang or return to the base's infirmary? Lin Miaomiao considered it for 3 seconds before decisively deciding to return to the base and have the club's doctor examine her. Regardless of whether her spiritual realm was damaged or not, her father would surely be notified immediately, and she didn't want to be bothered by the nagging. After sending a text message to Liu Gadier, asking them to come to her dorm for a midnight snack after training, Lin Miaomiao returned to the base alone. The fleet's infirmary was next to the spiritual training area, and to ensure the safety of the team members, a doctor was on duty 24 hours a day. Lin Miaomiao rarely visited the infirmary, but it seemed she was a bit lucky, as the doctor on duty today was someone she knew well. "Hey, Sister Lin, why are you here?" Gu Yang said warmly. "Welcome, would you like some tea or a drink? Isn't this the infirmary?" Lin Miaomiao looked around with a dull expression, seeing all sorts of examination equipment and piles of traditional Chinese medicine in glass cabinets. She breathed a sigh of relief once she was sure she'd arrived. "You're right," Gu Yang said with a smile. "Of course this is the infirmary. I just saw Sister Lin and wanted to show her some hospitality. Please call me Lin Miaomiao." "Thank you, calling me Sister Lin is so jarring." Gu Yang had no intention of changing the name, so he decided to change the subject. "What's wrong with you coming to the infirmary?" "My head," Lin Miaomiao replied. "To be more precise, my mental state. I've been feeling a dull tingling sensation. My mental energy tends to collapse when I exercise, a tingling in my mental state." Gu Yang's expression suddenly grew serious. This place was very fragile, any problems would require careful treatment. Gu Yang then led Lin Miaomiao into the adjacent examination room and pointed to a white bed for her to lie down on. Lin Miaomiao glanced at the familiar mental power detector at the bedside, silently took off her shoes, and lay flat on the bed. She consciously took a large suction cup hanging on the bedside and pressed it against her forehead. "Close your eyes, don't be nervous, relax, and think of yourself as resting in bed," Gu Yang said softly and soothingly. Knowing that she was undergoing an examination, how could she think of it as rest? Lin Miaomiao secretly complained, but she still tried her best to relax so as not to affect the test results. She lay quietly in bed for a quarter of an hour, but it felt like she had been waiting for half an hour, even an hour, but the results were still not out. Just as she was about to speak in urgent, Gu Yang finally spoke. "Okay, you can open your eyes now." The large suction cup, or neural connector, was removed. Lin Miaomiao opened her eyes and sat up, eagerly asking, "How did it go?" "My mental realm is intact, right? Is it even hurt? I can even feel the stinging pain," Gu Yang said grumpily. "You haven't been on a mission yet, and you're actually getting hurt during training at the base? You're quite capable." Lin Miaomiao was anxious. "Is it serious? I don't usually take care of it, but now you're anxious." Gu Yang curled his lips. "Tell me, have you been overdrawing your mental energy lately?" "No," Lin Miaomiao replied uncertainly. She had been practicing within her capacity, even outside of virtual combat training. And she hadn't been overdrawing her mental energy. "So, how many hours do you train your mental energy every day?" Gu Yang asked again. "Usually, from 9 p.m. to 11:30 p.m., Lin Miaomiao replied, then remembered that she'd been hiding a bottleneck the past few days, so she'd been going back to the dorm to continue training online, hoping for a breakthrough. Could it be that he was so focused on breaking through the bottleneck that he didn't notice that his mental strength was overdrawn? After reporting the situation to Gu Yang with a slightly guilty conscience, Lin Miaomiao was scolded. End of this chapter. Thank you so much for reading until the end. Don't forget to give it a like. Looking for more exclusive content and immediate access? Subscribe to our Patreon. Remember, every like, subscription or donation encourages us to continue. Thank you all. See you in the next video.